Welcome to the Navy MWR Esports 2026 series, sponsored by USAA and, of course, brought to you by the Navy's Morale, Welfare, and Recreation Program at Commander Navy Installations Command. I'm Dana Taco, joined, of course, by Seb. Just like last time, for those of you with great memories here on the broadcast, we're here to bring you a night of entertainment as teams battle it out for a chance to win some exciting prizes, of course, brought to you by Navy MWR.
Yes, and Navy MWR delivers high-quality recreational programs and services that contribute to resiliency, retention, readiness, and quality of life. These programs include bowling. We do love bowling. Community recreation, entertainment, fitness, food and beverage, golf. As I've said before, love my golf. Intramural sports, libraries, books. Books are very trendy right now, thanks to a certain streamer. Movies, and much, much more.
Like I was celebrating books like it's its own thing, but
books!
Regardless, all of this books, reading Rainbow. This part is part of the Navy and Nation's 250th birthday celebration. So what that means is over the next 2 years, Navy MWR is going to be hosting events that highlight the Navy's global impact, honor those who have served and continue to serve, and also support mission readiness and recreational activities, as Seb has alluded to. For complete details on the Navy MWR Esports program and to register for future hint tournaments, you can go to navymwr.org/esports. But of course, before we begin tonight's festivities, we will pause for the national anthem.
Welcome back, and competitors in the tournaments will battle it out for a chance to win some exciting prizes provided by Navy MWR. Each member of the first place team receives a $150 gift card. Second place prizing includes a $100 gift card. We also got a redemption bracket and prizing for the winning team of that bracket. Teams that lost in the first round, and if time permits, the second round, are grouped together, creating a more balanced playing field for them. So if you want a chance to try again, you can compete for a chance to win a $75 gift card for each member of the team.
And of course, if you were just so unfortunate and just not eager enough to sign up tonight, then that is good because you still have a chance. Navy MWR is giving away a $150 gift card to one lucky winner each night. So to enter the drawing, you simply sign up and participate in any of the upcoming Navy MWR Esports tournaments. Note, team members from the first place, second place, or redemption bracket winning teams are not eligible for the sign up and participate giveaway. So with that out of the way, we can take a look at our format. It will be a single elimination bracket, all best of 3. May the best team win. Losing teams from the first round, as a reminder, will drop down to our redemption bracket. So 2v2s and BO3 is the main thing we're going to keep in mind here. But of course, we have to focus on our teams as well. So we'll take a look at our current bracket setup and see what's in store for us tonight, Seb. And as always, love these names.
Yes, always wins with these names. 17 teams throughout the course, 18 teams throughout the course of today's bracket. Fallen Angels, Not exactly sure if that's a military term or if it's a reference to the movie, but I love that movie. Either way, lot of fantastic stuff. Big Gekka and Archangels will be our first match of the evening. But I mean, look at this. We got Cornballs. We got Shinobi's Choice. Okay, we got some weeps here. Black Ops, great. Wrong game, but awesome. Crew Dogs, Big Citrus, Cyber Warriors. Beachy Wabbit, perfect there, amongst some other ones. We have a fantastic stuff, but of course, thank you to our supporting sponsor, USAA. When it comes to backing the military and their families with award-winning service, teaming up with them is an easy win. No Navy endorsement of sponsors implied.
And of course, if you want to join in the fun, and you can follow Navy FFR on Facebook and on Instagram at /Navy FFR, and of course here on Twitch at /Navy MWR, because you want to stay locked in. We got a lot of tournaments. We just did Black Ops the other day. We got Rocket League here, and of course we're going to run it back with Rocket League tomorrow as well. So all these teams playing today, they can play again tomorrow, of course, unless they win this bracket. And at this point, I don't really know, because I'm not sure what really lies in store for a Seb in terms of these individual rosters. All I do know is that we finally get into our first match of the night. Again, standard 2v2. Last time we were rocking some Snow Day, I think around the holidays, but right now it is just pure Big Gekka, the namesake himself, getting our first goal of the broadcast.
Big Gekka indeed. And like you mentioned, yeah, we're not running the Snow Day for this one. Okay, I think we had enough of that one. We're back to soccer for this two's match. And frankly, I mean, I think this is always the exciting thing about these particular matches is we never know what we're going to get when we come into it. We might get some SSL players, we might get some Diamond players, but it's either way really exciting.
And honestly, these games have been pretty close regardless. Even in those matchups where we did have a bit more of a lopsided rank, players were able to like kind of lock in, figure out how they wanted to play. And on this one, it seems like Archangels getting a little ahead of themselves, which is only natural. That then Gekka able to put that one in on the open net.
I mean, Archangels had a decent chance. You could see one of the players going for the flick, but again, pretty much a mirror of the first goal. Gekka just able to punish right off the transition.
Kirby Griffin makes me wonder if that's just like a college football coach type thing. And oh no, it's Lane Kiffin. I was like, wait, Kirby Griffin. I was like, there's Kirby and there's Griffin, but no, these names always fascinate me. The mechs do as well. Yeah, usually it takes a round or two before we start getting into flip resets and air dribbles, but right off the rip, they're not doing too bad. I'm liking this one. Polaroid living up to it. Maybe not the direction he's wanting or the double tap, but I think yes, he does indeed have the save.
You see Polaroid try and solo, go for the twos pass, or actually you missed the boost. Commendable. Gonna go for the ceiling shot. Gonna go for the pass, actually. Will be blocked off. Kirby Griffin is definitely not like a Peter Griffin thing.
No, probably not. There's simply no way of knowing.
Is Griffin that much of like a popular last name?
I don't think I've ever met a Griffin in my mind. I'm really trying to rack my brain.
Oh, speaking of.
And that's just a super efficient dribble. I mean, you expect the flick coming in, but sometimes it's just really about hopping it just barely over the front of that car. And I think right there was a bit too much respect paid by Gekka.
Well, someone's got the GC tag, so we know that they're at least a GC currently, or could be. We don't know, but season 10 is a little old. Polaroid, good 50. Gekka is able to keep it out. Brother likes the UFC.
The ultimate fighting championship. Not even like a regular fighting championship. You know, all those other standard fighting championships.
Oh, dude, if you wanted to... Man, best one, Pride FC, you know, the Japanese one. Crazy fights. Crazy. You know what? We shouldn't talk about violence on a Rocket League stream, sorry.
Yeah, this is an E10 rated
We only
game
have
for
car violence here.
Yeah, we have other cars just knocking into each other and blowing them up, which is very on tune for this type of violence that we do see on the Rocket League pitch. But regardless, it does seem like Arcado's starting to warm up into things. Honestly, it felt like a lot of the goals in the beginning are kind of overcommitments. And I think that's a lot of players, if they don't rock a lot of twos, their biggest struggle is remembering they don't have 3 players on the pitch to recover if everyone just buys on in immediately. You really only have 1 good shot, maybe 2, and then you got to really hustle back to defense.
Rocco, do you want to play Rankle?
Rankle? Yeah. I mean, yeah, we saw the GC tag in season 10, which makes me feel like, you know, he hit 10, but maybe I don't really know how far they've gotten since then.
I think they're probably still like GC at some point. Yeah, the mechs are there. I don't really see that in Champ 3. I'm thinking like GC1, maybe. GC2.
Oh.
Gekka, I'd say, is like Champ 3.
We can see, I can see that. I'd say I'm going to need to see them attempt an air dribble, and that's going to entirely decide it for me.
Yeah,
Oh,
I mean, I think.
Okay, I missed that. Kirby, I'm going to lock that
maybe
down
not,
to maybe low champ for now. They're rocking kind of a musty car. I don't know anyone who uses the 20XX still.
Champ. Okay, that.
I don't know, man. These low champs.
I'm so confused. Is this what all of Coconut's TikToks are like?
Maybe. Ooh, the breakaway Polaroid actually saw the gap there for a brief second, but was able to actually accelerate that one through. Kirby Griffin also going to miss out on that mid boost. In fact, same did Pure Rhythm. I don't even know who got that then, since it just now spawned on the far side. And a dunk like that, anything's possible. Reaching for it is Polaroid with the dunk and a half to be able to tie things up.
You can see Gekka was trying to make this one work. Brothers rocking the Canadian flag too. Okay, Gekka trying to make this one work, just gets ahead of it, but I didn't think that they had the muscle to be able to cover for the second attempt. So it will be a tie game with 90 seconds remaining. Big Gekka lost their lead, so we'll see if Polaroid with the flip reset tries to play round one. Kirby Griffin is there and doesn't get the rebound. Polaroid will handle it again. No boost to speak of, so Kirby Griffin's on the way back. Gekka is going to try and solo, but doesn't get the pickup that they wanted.
No, but the teams are starting to get a bit more comfortable with their shadowing, where they will approach the ball and then kind of like look at it, not really dive in yet. And I think it is serving, especially Big Gekka, better in that patience, as they will leave that one, which almost resulted in the counterattack. A little bit of a bump. Reaching for it is Kirby Griffin. It's on the doorstep. Polaroid can't turn it around. Commotion in front of the net. Maybe a 50 as well by Polaroid. He's trying to wave dash. It is just pandemonium in the blue half right now.
It's very much all over the place as Big Gekka just trying to hang on and eventually come back into this game. Let's see, doesn't collect the mid boost. This might be trouble, especially since Kirby Griffin got it. A demo could be coming through. Gekka able to play patiently, wait for that save. 30 seconds on this one, and with it, trying to stay on. It goes off the crossbar. The rebound comes through for Kirby Griffin to get the lead.
Excellent flick. Early flick as well by Polaroid. Doesn't overcomplicate it. He gets one touch to set it forward and then just launches it, makes it a hard save, and Kirby Griffin has the easiest job of all to make sure, okay, as long as it doesn't go crossbar down, pretty much a guaranteed goal every single time. A comeback here by Archangels after giving up a bit of a too snoozer of a goal, and then meanwhile, some experimentation off the kickoff. Big Gekka might even have an open net. That's a rocket right into the open back net shot, and honestly, pretty ridiculous game one we got going here, Seb.
Yeah, I mean, trading pleasantries. They both called it out and saw, wow, nice shot. 3-3 in our first game. It's gone back and forth for both these teams. 12 seconds. Might see an overtime for our very first game unless something crazy happens off this kickoff. The last 9 seconds comes through. Gekka able to collect the first boots. Needs to get over Kirby. Does, but you see Kirby leave it for Polaroid. Mechanical player goes for one flip reset, goes for potentially another, tries to get it through, but we will be going to overtime.
Yeah, see, now I'm super confused, but also that's very, like, classic Rocket League player where a player has struggled with certain stuff, but of course he also gets a stall reset and almost got a double reset, so yeah, who knows?
It is absolutely classic. It's like, great, you can do like a quadruple reset, but, you know, then struggle with an aerial.
But hey, people always work on the fun stuff and maybe not the fundamentals, but maybe they're just trying to warm up. That's all that I know. Polaroid seems to be a lot faster and even get some passes, maybe not to the teammate, but definitely into open space. Pure Rhythm from the ceiling. Delay flick. That's actually unfortunately right to his opponent, and that is going to wrap it up here for Archangels in game one.
Yeah, a bit of a hard read, unfortunately, and with if you're Pure Rhythm, you got to be able to get those clears from the back wall. One of those ones that you need to be able to get into the training pack to deal with, but kudos to Archangels for taking game one, making a 2-goal comeback and eventually forcing it to overtime. And so they will go to match point for our first of the 3 this evening.
Yeah, and that's a tough thing, as you mentioned, like those clears. Ultimately, this game was really fascinating to watch because off the rip, those first 2 goals, I'm thinking like, this is going to be kind of a tough game to watch and really critique because it seems like they're kind of just handing away goals. But the best thing is like they actually learned from it. You can see them actually get a lot more patient and build up. And then they actually started to show off the mechanical consistency and the teamwork, getting immediate follow-ups and then being able to also poach through the midfield. That last goal was really just watching the opponent tie themselves into a position where they had to throw it away. And instead of going for it immediately, they kind of just sat back, waited for it, and took advantage. I like smart Rocket League play like that.
The wicked smart, bro. Wicked smart.
All of them. I mean, that's kind of what you have to be. I mean, as much as everyone kind of critiques certain players in any ranked game mode as being like kind of brain dead, you just kind of just like chase everything around. It is the players that have occasionally are like, wait, use the brain that eventually actually does get more goals because you can actually, I don't know,
See
plan
the
ahead.
future.
Well, I mean, I don't know about see the future. That's we're getting into mutant territory there. I don't like to cross those borders yet. That's a lot of supposition that we're engaging in.
Yeah, exactly. But, you know, sometimes you got to see the future, as these players sometimes do. You never know. But for the time being, we're going to be getting into a game 2 as Archangels will be with a game lead, well earned too. Hopefully we get to see a bit more mechs. I think partially they're trying to have fun, right? Like, not very often do you just bring it up the sidewall to go for individual plays if you know that you're going to be kind of having this in the bag. Kirby able to get the beat. Gecko has no boost to speak of. An easy goal for Kirby Griffin to be able to kick this off.
Yeah, it's a good fusion of everything going right for Kirby Griffin, able to get off the cheat up on the kickoff, being able to get that mid boost, and then most importantly, they did not slow down. A lot of players make the mistake of grabbing the boost and then say, okay, let's try to very delicately get this touch, and then they get dunked by the player with an inferior amount of boost coming off that kickoff. So just power through, get just enough above it so it goes on target, and you can be rewarded for it. So already Big Gekka kind of in a hole, especially on this match point situation, but with a demo, maybe a breakaway, maybe a bit too far as well. Gekka, a beefy 50 right on the goal line, and it will cross the threshold.
I am consistently impressed by Gekka's beats and just strong 50s, and this is a perfect example of this. Just complete domination in that 50, beating out Polaroid. I will say, it is a little concerning, despite the MMR that Archangels are at, how much they just have no boost to play with.
Yeah, it can be tough. I mean, half of the battle of a lot of these games is when you play in 3s, the hard part is just getting boost in general. In 2s, it's a lot easier to get boost, which is why you can see a lot more experimentation with everything, but ultimately it's how you use it and how wide you want to go, how open you want to leave the middle on defense and whatnot. So it's a lot of balance priorities, and because of that, there is some risk-taking, like every single player on the pitch being within 2 feet of each other, and now on the far side, Polaroid having to clean things up, but only for the first player. Kirby going to take the second clear, and we're right back out to mid as we level things up, and we've just lost a minute, but still at a level pegging.
So with that, Polaroid, I just love his solo efforts. Kirby doesn't get the rebounds that they wanted. It would have been really cool to see, but I think it was a bit difficult to manage. See, Kirby go for the half flip back, pass over to Pure Rhythm, immediately cut off by Polaroid. Now it's a 2v0. It'll all be on Polaroid to get this decent pass over to Kirby Griffin, but it's just too far, and the team bump completely ruins it. And I hear you, Taco. I feel like you've gone through that many times before.
Well, a lot of times you're in those situations and you realize there's a back pass, but the thing is, in order to get the back pass, you kind of have to flip with the ball. It's kind of hard to like get that slight touch and lean away. So I think he was trying his best to get a light touch, and I think we've all tried to miscalculate that one and realize too late, you're going to be your own worst enemy on that. But regardless, doesn't really hurt him unless they don't jump on this one. Kirby Griffin, immediate turn just to pop it forward, make everyone reset on the rotation.
It doesn't hurt him unless, question mark.
Unless. Unless. That's off target. We're fine. And there's going to be no immediate follow on that one. Kirby Griffin just
manifesting.
I mean, sometimes you just got to do that. Maybe that's what their comms are. For example, they would probably say, I'm scoring this. And what do you know? Pure Rhythm getting one on the board.
Pure Rhythm getting one on the board and doing so in a way that I can't imagine how tilted Archangels are right now. Because all of these goals, like, respectfully, like, all of these goals have been just off of misread 50s, unfortunate 50s, everything in between.
Well, classic 2's scenario is being in a situation where you're like, I got it! And then as soon as you turn, you realize, oh, I don't have that. And then it goes right to the open net. You realize, like, yeah, maybe if I went back, that could have been a pretty routine save. But it's kind of that managed risk that you want to deal with in 2v2. How far forward do you really want to go, and how open do you want to leave these breakaways? Polaroid taking the sneaky underneath route, pushing beneath that last defender.
Yeah, I think they started to lean forward in their chair. No more freestyles up, and it's just, okay, we're going to go for everything we need to. And really, it worked out. I mean, again, just a strong beat. Gekka, unfortunately, like, really has to be that player that has to kind of ball out for his team. And if he's not involved in the play, it's going to be hard.
And making sure not allowing those kind of solo isolation moments. Obviously, in 2v2, you're never going to ever avoid a 1v1 scenario. But if you can mitigate the damage that one player can cause, maybe you can get away with it. But not if you get dunked right into Polaroid. Right place, right time.
Yeah, that's also incredibly difficult to deal with. Archangel starting to run away with the lead. Polaroid leaning forward in his chair and just getting back into this game.
So with the lead, this is, I mean, a pretty fast goals we're getting within a lot of this game. I mean, this is the final score of the last game where we just crossed halftime, and we are probably going to see some more as Polaroid.
What is going on?
Luckily, Kirby Griffin was saying, okay, let's just treat that like a fake.
I mean, when I'm looking at how this kind of played out, first of all, Archangels, it is very much a switch in their head. They're running away with this game. I feel bad for Pure Rhythm. Like, it's just having a hard read on the actual play, but good twos action from Archangels to be able to keep this one up. It might be another one here. Polaroid is going to go for the solo. The flick over one, a little bit too high. Tries to get the rebound, but can't do it, and so Kirby Griffin's going to back off.
And as well wants to kind of balance out how much they want to commit to it. As unfortunately, it's open for Pure Rhythm, but they cannot fall into that scoring rhythm again. They kind of just overcomplicate that one. Sometimes you drive so fast the read, you're trying to get it around, you forget that sometimes you just got to put it on target.
Even though you try to, sometimes the pressure just gets to you. 90 seconds, Archangels wanting to wrap this one up, but you're going to have to keep a lead. Polaroid gets ahead of it again. Tries to outplay Pure Rhythm, who actually gets a great read on the challenge. Kirby Griffin goes up, actually kind of leaves it. That's a bit of a miss pop that he didn't get the proper read for. It's just immediately getting chased. Gekka going from up. Polaroid comes in, gets the read. It's 5-2.
Game one felt a little awkward and a little uncertain. It feels like Archangels kind of just settled into the idea that if they play fast and they play confident enough, yeah, they might whiff some stuff, but ultimately it's going to work out more often than not. That's a spectacular pass from the side of Archangels, putting that one right into the top lip of the ceiling so it rolls straight down. Super hard read for the defender and pretty much guaranteed to at least dunk and go in from our yellow side.
Almost another one there as well. Kirby Griffin going to put one just bar end in. Difficult save to manage for Big Gekka, and this one is increasingly getting away from them.
Yeah, and honestly, if you just take a look at the stats in the bottom left as you look at the shooting percentage, really efficient shooting coming in from Archangels. Honestly, all the misses that have gone through have usually led up to another attack anyway. So just building a lot of pressure, and I think Big Gekka just kind of struggling to deal with that. So we can talk about missed opportunities. This one can't be one of them, and Gekka lives up to the name again. The captain getting a goal to cut the lead.
I mean, we've seen it. 3 within 53 is not bad at all if you're able to make it work, and this is a great start.
And a lot of this stuff is really difficult to be able to focus in on. But luckily for anyone who watches the high-level play on RLCS that was going on earlier today or something, you see a 3-goal lead in under a minute, it's not going to happen. And 2's very much so in the wheelhouse of these teams. It's just about making sure you actually convert because you basically have to score every one of them. Is this the start of one of those attacks? Gekka might think so. It's a nice first touch and a deflection as well of Polaroid, but looks like Kirby will easily escort that one to the side.
I mean, I feel like that, you know, Obi-Wan meme from Star Trek is like, yes, that was me, because I literally did cast a 3-0 comeback earlier. Oh my God, Polaroid! Solo!
Oh, that's a little gross. Polaroid, I don't know what happened. It's like they woke up, they just drank a bit of their energy drink or something. It just immediately locked in, because that might look like a simple one, but those are tiny resets, like a little bit off the ground, are some of the trickiest, because you're thinking, they're not going to try to go for that one, and then suddenly scoop and a half directly into the net. I
strongly dislike it when that happens, because it's like, why didn't you go for that before? Why are you trying to make a fool out of me right now? But it's just being bad at the game.
Yeah, honestly, it feels like they definitely just took a little bit of a warm-up, and after game one, they realized, okay, this is the pace we can play at, and what a pace that is. Archangels getting a sweep in the first round. They're going to be moving on, and certainly kind of a dark horse candidate so far. Obviously, our expectations change round by round, but Archangels, anyone who's watched the broadcast, you do not want to be next up if you're playing, and if so, that means Cornballs, technically our #1 seed. That's going to be who's facing them off of them next.
Yeah, I'm curious to see who is on Cornballs, because usually it's always the weird one. They're the first seed, but it's usually the weird names that that are just the strongest. I'm trying to think, who was it that the oh my gosh, the CRL player who's in these brackets.
I mean, well, there's a lot of them, but I mean, we had low tech in a bunch of these, but ultimately, yeah, we have a bunch of really familiar names that we know from the collegiate side in a lot of these military events. But for right now, we do have another match queued up, and we're slowly just kind of getting those players ready, getting into those lobbies. It should be Crew Dogs and Big Citrus, but of course, before we get into that one, let's take a look back, a little stroll down memory lane for that last series.
Yeah, and frankly, again, we saw that it was a bit of a slow start here for Archangels, as Big Gekka was just able to take advantage of strong beats and good 50s to secure leads, but every single time it resulted in Archangel just deciding to lean forward in their chair, realizing, oh wait, we are pretty good at this game, and just going for very basic just beats and solo plays that are very twos characteristic.
Yes, and I definitely like that analogy of thinking about it in terms of like the leaning forward in your chair, because everyone knows those moments where maybe you get into a tournament like this, and usually the first round you're like, it shouldn't be that hard, and then you go down by 2, and you're like, okay, well, we can't be losing it like this. Well, we gotta actually step up. And not only do they step up, but like the passing looked better, as you see with that stealing shot. We'll be seeing a little bit of a replay with a bit more style on it, with a flip reset on the 7th goal. But even just the basic shots, like here with Kirby, making sure that is on target, high, hitting the crossbar, just tucking below. That's difficult in its own right, but they do it so well.
They do it very well, and I'm kind of impressed that I think Archangels were able to just really kind of get away from being under pressure so often. So, yeah, I think as far as our next match, we're still going to be waiting. I don't know if we're going to be sticking with round 2 for Rebels and Archangels, but we did have some other matches getting played. We had High Joy Bowl versus BD Bandits. High Joy Bowl took that one. And then we had Retut versus Black Ops, which Black Ops lost. Sorry, go to play Call of Duty now. Burger League versus Shinobi's Choice. Burger League did, in fact, win that one. Man, I wanted to see Weebs later in bracket.
Does Call of Duty still do those? I don't know what they were originally called, but I remember in Modern Warfare 3 they introduced Face Off as a mode where you could do 1v1, 2v2, or 3v3. That was my jam. I love
actually
that
don't
stuff.
remember, but I don't think they have that anymore. No, and that is Laggy Puppy being able to put this one in.
I really do like that. Taro putting that one in. We've all been there. You try to take a lightly touch one, but it just doesn't really work out. But hey, Lucky Puppy immediately just strikes that one to the back post, which is one of the worst possible things. It's like, okay, that's not a bad touch, but certainly they're not going to know and be able to react to that, and they reacted to it, and they slotted it. Okay, well, moving on.
Yeah, not a fantastic way to kick that one off, and it is pretty early. But for the time being, see, Crew Dogs, I want to see kind of what rank we're looking at. We got a Musty, not a great follow-up. Lemon Puppy's sticking with it. Gonna go for the double touch. That's in, I'm gonna guess, GC1.
Yeah, honestly, when you said...
RLCS Challenger.
Yeah, that makes me wonder.
128?
That makes me wonder what's going on. I think it's top 128. It might be top 64. I forget if they changed it, but yeah, they got pretty far in there. And also, Laggy Puppy made me think this was Lemon Puppy for a second.
That's what I was actually thinking of for a second.
I was like, I don't
surely
actually know. Yeah, like,
don't you have him on Steam?
Can't
you just check?
I don't know if I have him on Steam, but I do know that Demoholic is not doing any demoing, but he is certainly getting a lot of goal explosions for his squad, as this one is just clean. I like the negative 1,000 aura.
Yeah, one. I didn't even know that was a title, but that's crazy. Taro, I think, kind of completely frozen, unfortunately.
That's also, I think, unless they have some discerning fashion choices, that is definitely a randomized car. That Taro's rocket. I can't even name what car body that is.
Bro, I don't know, man. Nowadays, you never know. I will say that the wheels remind me of the iRobot car, like the Audi.
The iRobot car? Or what?
Yeah, do you remember that? You know the Will Smith movie iRobot?
I don't remember a car in that movie.
There's like an Audi car and that whole crashing scene, remember, in the tunnel?
No.
Oh my God. Absolutely uncultured,
We'll Google it
together
we'll Google it during the commercial break, and then we'll see how accurate that is. Okay, I'm looking at the wheels. Okay, I have implanted it in my brain, and I will ascertain an opinion for you in a few minutes. But if Taro can score this, then everything is wide open. But no, unfortunately, it doesn't go in. And oh, so cruel. The astral pinch by Demaholic. He doesn't even want to take the open net.
That is actually kind of wild that they're going to go for that at this stage. Laggy Puppy potentially go for the second touch. This is bullying, guys.
I mean, I gotta say, Crew Dogs, I mean, looking like a favorite to me. That's a 3rd seed coming into this one, and that's an angle and a half, despite being from close range.
It's Lemon Puppy, isn't it?
I feel like he has cooler tags, though.
Liquid,
then again, he's not really someone to brag about that or those earlier days. Maybe he wants to be more modern challenger tag.
Let's see. We got Lemon Puppy. Last time he's played. Come on, Wikipedia. Thank you. All right. Yep. 97th to 128th. 2024 RLCS Major 1 NA Qualifier 2. That's the last time that he played in a qualifier. This might be a Lemon Puppy.
Heck yeah. Well, former professional player, and I guess still active in the scene. But that's always the funniest thing is when we're casting these tournaments, how many times we'll run to a player. It's like, wait a minute. We know them. He just kind of turns out, yeah, they are within the military. So good to see all of these different RL players from the pro scene, semi-pro, collegiate scene tune into the military side of things, get to keep playing their hobby in all these tournaments, and maybe even get scored on if they're not careful. Mechanically declined, set it up so perfectly, but they just could not find the connection.
No, not at all. And at this point, it is kind of just a feast for Crew Dogs to be able to get into this one. I am curious if Lowtech is in this tournament, because I would love to see Lowtech versus Lemon Puppy. This one, very El Classic kind of match that you wouldn't be able to see too often. Tara's going to try and put a shot on. Mechanically declined. Will attempt to take it around, but nothing really to be done. So, going to get the 50 beat. Demaholic. Put it off the sidewall. Bit of a misread here. Going to try and go for the redirect off the sidewall, but nothing will come from it.
Ooh. Nice touch by Demaholic, being able to take this one clean, lay up, and with the catch into the reset. I like the immediate challenge, and that's exactly what Big Citrus needs to do. A lot of players think you just need to like let them do their thing, and you don't want to dive on in. But no, in fact, diving in and forcing them to do something is kind of the best thing you can do. You just gotta find your timing, and also make sure you don't let them clip on you. Demaholic, almost with a clip and a half on that angle.
And so, of course, celebration of our nations and the Navy's 250th birthday has officially begun. This series is part of the Navy and Nation's 250th birthday celebration. By the way, in case you didn't know, over the next 2 years, Navy MWR will host events that highlight the Navy's global impact, honor those who have served, continue to serve, and support mission readiness and recreational activities. Like this one, where unfortunately we're kind of seeing Crew Dogs run away in a very bully fashion.
Yeah, and this is really the biggest, I would say, difference between a lot of different ranks is how fast you recover. Essentially, Crew Dogs can just throw themselves into every play, and if Big Citrus doesn't turn around immediately and get their shot off, usually it just is immediately covered. So for right now, they have an open net. Mechanically declined, does have to beat that one player, and they do. So even with the mechanics on the downward trend, still able to put that one on the open net and finish it off.
I mean, being able to punish, keep them honest a little bit, at least and carry some momentum over into the next game is just a good start, honestly. We would love to see it.
Yes, and a lot of this stuff comes down to being able to capitalize off of those situations. Granted, it's going to take a lot more than that to be able to stay in these games. That was very experimental by Taro, going for the save off your own backboard. But hey, whatever. Just maybe get some practice and getting these saves. Delayed flick on the reset coming in. Laggy Puppy might take one more for the stats. He'll go for the flip reset double. Still has the flip with the reset as well. Tried to double it up. Just a little too greedy. The "you have time" chat in the top left, I think, says it all.
Get out of here with that. That's why you bully, man. Why you gotta bully? Crew Dogs running away with it, but it was quite the feast for solo plays, I will say.
I mean, that's a part of what these players do. We've talked to a bunch of players that get on broadcast, and they're like, "Oh, how'd you feel?" And they're like, "I was pretty good." But like, the more I was on broadcast, the more I wanted to like actually hit a clip. I didn't just want to like win the game. I wanted to be able to actually like show off a bit. And I feel like some of those players, I understand exactly what they're going for. They go for the cool clips, they go for the essentials, and then once they feel like they're in control, then it's like, okay, let's go for some kind of goofy stuff. Let's kind of take around. I don't really necessarily see it as BM, for example, when like Demaholic has an open net, but he doesn't take it. It's like, no, I want to actually score like a fun goal. I don't want to just take the freebies. Like where.
I mean, yeah, because then we would be in the game forever,
in
right? Like, if, you know, and how many times have we seen games just go for like 10, 15 minutes because there's like a racked up score line of 12-2?
Yeah, and I don't think everyone really goes, well, it doesn't take that long, but it's like, yeah, but you're thinking about it in terms of rank perspective. Like, imagine if you watched every single replay. I mean, granted, if you all experience like that, anyone who's tuned into a 1v1 show match on like Johnny Boy or Fear's channel knows those things go on for like 25 minutes.
Hour.
Sometimes it takes forever. So therefore,
we saw how long the ones turn or the ones match was at Worlds. It was insanely long.
Yes. So anytime these players can just kind of score enough to get their win and then say like, actually, you know what, let's just take a little more casually, let's score some fun stuff. We always appreciate it. But that being said, I mean, Big Citrus, they have their work cut out for them. It's really tough to go up against a team like Crew Dogs just because they're so experienced. That is definitely the team I would say is probably the most lethal in the lobby up until, of course, we get our next match and find out the other next best team out here. There's always
last time we did this.
an increasing level of teams where we keep going, nope, that's the winner. Oh, no, that's the eventual winner. Actually, no, that's another third good team. So it's always just a kind of cornucopia of talent in all these brackets.
Cornucopia, there's your word for the day. With... I mean, I don't want to say it is Lemon Puppy, because if it is Saint Lemon Puppy, then it'll be really awkward, but circumstantial evidence speaks to the contrary. If we have professional caliber players, we already can tell that these are SSL level players that are looking to try and win this, and it's why they're the first seed. Happily, we do have, first seeds seeded accordingly. I know sometimes we had a seeding issue where it just like a fifth seed is like filled with low tech and some other players, and it's like, oh, okay, then they just run away with the bracket. But we also have the redemption bracket as well in the lower end here, which is slowly kind of filling up as more and more players are going in. For example, Chow Mein beat Fallen Angels. Fallen Angels will be in the redemption bracket, and then as things move along, we can already see our top 8 start to fill out a little bit here as we get going into game 2 of our best of 3 between I'm actually brain farting.
Crew
It is,
Dogs
Big
and
Strangers
Big
and
Citrus.
Crew Dogs.
And honestly,
Crew Dogs is third seed actually.
Yeah, they're chilling. They're just rocking with third seed. But sometimes that also happens if these guys did not play in the last tournament. So sometimes they come in and they're a bit more of an unknown quantity, kind of the known players that played previously do get that higher seed. But regardless, they're proving that they could definitely hang in this one. And that one actually might go coast to coast. Is that going to fit underneath the bar? Mechanically declined, taking no chances.
Nike Puppy taking their time to take this one across, goes for some style, but it is blocked away. Demaholic, if Taro can get ahead of it and actually get some touch off the wall, mechanically decline, are looking for that pass. 50 comes out, still a little bit dangerous. The shot is going to come through to get a better touch. Is Demaholic going backwards?
Briefly, but looks like they're going forward now and upwards, getting the reset, minimal boost, and no, I think maybe just missed out on that, being able to hit that one on the underside of the car. Which means now, fully boosted, they're going to try again for something more efficient, straight to the backboard, try to pancake that one, it didn't quite work out.
I appreciate that they are taking their time and go for stylish stuff, because I'm down for style. Also, we forgot to look up the car. Darn.
Oh, dang it. Yeah. Oh, well, next time they're showing on, I'm going to try to use my full brain. Oh, a Demaholic. They're using their full brain right there. 100% of the frontal lobe to be able to calculate this one as the delay flick into just the cleanest of resets.
Yeah, I appreciate the nice shots coming out, because that is a bit hard to take, especially if you are getting scored on. Sometimes it can be difficult to put the ego aside and just recognize where everything is at as far as your skill level, but as long as you're able to have a good mindset about it, have a fun game. Crew Dogs try to have a fun game themselves. Taro, try and just get the read on the challenge. Laggy Puppy is going to go up. There's 1, there's 2, there's not 3. Just goes for the shot, and we'll be able to get it. Unfortunate miss, though, from the Big Citrus side, but beautiful shot from Laggy Puppy.
Yeah, getting a kind of double reset in there, but the thing is we oftentimes when you are retreating as a defender, you're expecting A and then B happens, and if you're not ready to adjust to that, it can be really rough. I've been there before where Taro is getting back, expecting a hard shot directly to the near post or straight down the middle, and then it's a little bit behind what they expect, and they jump past it because you're just not quite ready for that one. A little unfortunate, but hey, still within reach, especially with dunks like that. Mechanically decline, they're lurking around as Demaholic is not going to get the best of touches on this one. A bump on Laggy Puppy, and honestly, everything almost came together there for Big Citrus.
Let's go for the Musty as well. Mechanically declined is able to get the read to where it was going. Demaholic forces it. Bad place for Big Citrus to have to deal with it. Demaholic going to go for the redirect off the side wall. A touch high. Laggy Puppy able to collect off the rebound.
I really do like that one. Half the time, good goal scoring opportunities aren't direct passes, just going quickly and making sure the defense has to react to it. Right there, you can see a couple different angles to that one from Big Citrus. They could have jumped at it, but ultimately they might have a touch if given the chance, but no. Dogs is immediately on it. Laggy Puppy dunks it through and just makes, again, to cement this lead in and maybe even grow it. Demaholic not playing around, nothing fancy about that one. Unfortunately, ran out of momentum. Put that one on the near post. 3 goals, it will remain.
2 minutes, and with it, 50 from Declined as well. Pass over to Laggy Puppy, who's going to put this one top right, just barely off the post. Still dangerous, though, as Crew Dogs continue their run, trying to collect this series, move on to the next round as soon as possible so we can get to this top 8.
And being able to be in the situation of Big Citrus, I'm also trying to figure out what is the Big and what is the Citrus in this lobby? Are they fruit enthusiasts? Is it a nickname thing? I don't know. What's the origin?
They like citrus. That was kind of nasty how much power that had. My goodness.
It kind of is the small stuff. I mean, when you get good enough mechanically, honestly, the fancy stuff actually does result in more unexpected goals and the way you can actually get that off. That's a backflip, actually, that you can use at the right angle to basically launch the ball. And there's certain takeoffs where you're taking a dribble and you realize, it's a little too high on my car. I can't really front flip this one. Let's just try to lean back a little bit and then trigger that backflip. It's kind of like an inverse of a musty, except you're right side up. It's a weird thing to describe, but it's definitely something that can be a little bit lethal, even if it's not the best place shot. Big Citrus being on the, let's say, business end of a lot of these mechanics, let's say.
Yes, I think that's a way to put it kindly. Terra's trying to handle it well, but Big Citrus and mountain to climb. Crew Dogs, no doubt, enjoying themselves and gonna be able to run away with this one. A 50 comes through. Calculated, it's all around. Even Kate taking it out of their net just so they can go for the freestyle.
Yeah, and I feel that one. You're not satisfied with that setup, so let's go for another one. Demaholic, excellent touch, reset, going for a pinch potentially, and he just couldn't quite catch up with it. So going to be frustrated with himself, and honestly, I'm just rooting for Big Citrus, trying to get that one goal again. Always something to take out of these games, if nothing else. You're like, hey, we're playing players that are way higher ranked, but hey, we got a goal off, and that's all that matters.
I mean, if you're, able to score against SSL players, despite the fact that you're not SSL, I think that's always a win in your book. Also, the amount of download that you're taking off of some of the games like these in terms of positioning and how to deal with some of these higher mechs really goes a long way. I mean, traditionally, it's why if you're a non-SSL player, but then sometimes you just play with higher ranked players for a period of time, you tend to play in your own rank a lot better because you're playing smarter, you're playing more concerned of what the other opponent's doing. As the clock winds down, Crew Dogs will take this best of 3. Laggy Puppy wants to double tap to go home. Doesn't get it. It'll be the game regardless.
And excellently done by Crew Dogs. Definitely a team we're going to be keeping our eye on. They're moving on to play Cyber Warriors in round number 3 as we're starting to slowly close in on all the matches in round 2 and try to get our winners and the players who are going to be dropping down. But I will say, I mean, a game like that, it's one that you expect to win. And like any good team, there's not really any moment where we're like, this could, they're not really closing out. No, right from the beginning, felt like they were very confident. They knew what they had to do and they got her done.
They did get it done, and they got it done in style. They knew what they wanted. They had fun, which is great. I mean, especially if you're a top seed, it allows you to kind of like just burn away the game more rather than just getting like 20 goals and taking up a ton of time, because I think at the moment they are kind of one of the last ones to get their match done. So they're just like, all right, let's go. So it'll be Crew Dogs versus Cyber Warriors in their next round, the 11th seed for that one. As for us, we'll be moving on to Beachy Wabbits versus Chow Mein.
I think that's an original sentence. I don't think any human has said those collection of words in that order.
I don't think so either. Because
ever before.
Rabbits, maybe, but Wabbits, no.
Wabbit season? Probably not. But if anyone has tuned in a little bit late and you're wondering, okay, why are these guys hyping up these players, these dogs on Crew Dogs, you'll see a lot of it in this one. This highlight reel across the series is going to be featuring a lot of the blue side.
Yeah, I mean, there was one goal from the Big Citrus side. Fair enough. I wonder if we'll see it, but a lot of good solo plays here. Laggy Puppy. This one I actually wasn't expecting to get the angle on. That was well put.
Yeah, being able to put that one on target and then get your one goal. Let's go! Mechanically inclined. I mean, he's gonna be telling his kids around the fire about that one.
I mean, dude, I scored on a professional. Dude. Like,
That's like the sports equivalent. Like, that's like the sports equivalent of like playing in a charity event. You're like, yeah, I scored or I deked out like Ovechkin one time when I was 12 years old or whatever.
You mean when we literally played that content match against Squishy?
No, exactly. Yeah, you're gonna be bragging about it for forever.
Like,
but
by the way, I beat Squishy on LAN.
Oh, and another very good team is Chowder has entered the arena, a regular for many of these military events, playing with Crim6. Another very good player, as he's going to be showing exactly why I'm hyping him up, the immediate touch into the reset.
This is Chow Mein, the 18th seed?
Yeah, a little bit. Honestly, I think that has to be, and I hate to say it, but that's food prejudice. Someone was seeing this, and they're like, man, I just love fried chicken. I love American burgers and all that stuff. And they saw chow mein, they're like, psh, get out of here. No one likes noodles, and then they immediately deranked it. And that's what happens. It happens more than you think in esports seeding.
Now I'm hungry, and that'll be a shot. And on Crim6, able to get it on. No relation to Call of Duty Crim6, right?
Yeah, it is not. It is not the same.
Oh, yeah,
I think it just happens to be different. But that would be really funny if this is just multi-millionaire Crim6 chilling in this one. Heck yeah. I mean, that's the grinder mentality. I mean, just because he's got a couple million in the bank doesn't mean you can't rack up a $150 gift card.
We'll see. Gem, the Kitsune. Let's get an aerial, but will get beat out to the ball. Crim6 chasing this one down. And that will be saved by Gem. And honestly, I think this is going to kind of be a repeat of last series, where it's just going to be a bit of a run for the Chow Mein team. We're going to have some fun with some individual mechs, unless Gem can get a nice hand on it off the ceiling. Unfortunately for the teammate, it's just going to be a hard road. This is 3 players in the lobby who are well above him right now.
Yeah, I mean, not to judge. I mean, you can't judge a book by its cover. But my man, you're in the murk. I can't really respect that. I'm sorry, but no, I'm judgy. I'm judgy about that. I see the Merc and I'm immediately like, I don't respect what you're going for here, buddy. But I do respect this one. The pre-jump off the ceiling from Crim6, nearly getting the combination. Yeah, but gonna have to go back to the drawing board on that one.
I feel like I need to call Hawk or something. Be like, oh, can you get in here? You sub in. Chowder can't get it done. Very close though. Demo will come through for Crim6 as he'll make another attempt. Dem's just going to send this downfield, looking for Beachy Keen. Get a touch, but can't put it on. Chowder, second touch, flip reset, doesn't get the one off the crossbar. Crim6 is going to chill out.
See, also, just got to touch on this, and I'm a little confused, is their name's Beachy Wabbit, but one player is Beachy Keen, and the other one is Kitsune, which is a fox. So I don't know the origin of that. Maybe it's a mistranslation, but someone's got to Google Kitsune if they're a little confused. I think it's a rabbit.
I thought an Inari.
That's a fox spirit. Yeah, but that's the thing. It's like, where's the wabbit coming from? Regardless, I know where Crimson's coming from. He's coming from the ceiling and directly into your net.
Oh yeah, you're right. Kitsune is the Japanese word for fox. But then what's an Inari, or is that the god?
Pass. I like to phone a friend.
Inari is the Japanese kami of rice fertility agriculture. Foxes, prosperity industry. Cool. All right. Now that we have that covered, Beachy Wabbit is not a wabbit. It's Beachy Foxes. Great.
Beachy Foxes, and also Chowder. Nice old school television show, or just food. I don't know the origin.
Is it really that old school?
I mean, I'd have to think so. I mean, that's like
I think Chowder had some of the most beautiful from Crim6. That's a Call of Duty behavior right there.
Yeah, I don't know if he's missed a reset yet. Also, I'm not gonna lie, I respect the fit. I actually
love this preset.
Yeah, I like the kind of bright neon type of thing. That's kind of a.
It's almost like you played for Optic Gaming.
I think that's the Shot by Rebellion team decal. I can't 100% remember. But regardless, it looks good, and I do like when people actively plan out what they're rocking for their car.
Yeah. Speaking of, if you say Beachy Foxes, as the team name should be, you could say Foxy Peaches, and it would sound like Fuzzy Peaches.
That is a fact. that is very much an observation. And also, going off the ceiling is still all a Chow Mein. Crimsix just hogging the goals right here. Chatter he's playing the Chris Paul role.
The passing plays is like reminding me of like our OG time when they would just go for really dumb stuff out of nowhere. But this is because they have the aerial freedom to do it. Also, that was the shot professor.
Yeah, and they also got the Pioneer there on Gem. So we got a lot of RLCS representation here. Yeah, nothing for the Merc. Classic Merc, not supporting the ecosystem. No, I'm kidding. I'm actually getting prejudiced here.
Yeah, what the heck?
Just immediately start going off the rails.
Merc slander, dude.
Yeah, you gotta calm down. Oh my goodness. But I mean, either way, I mean, there's a lot to be said about this. I mean, Chatter and his squad mate in Crimsix, I mean, they're taking advantage of this type of tournament. We've seen their names in a bunch of different tournaments and events that we've been able to put on. So obviously, if you guys are like esports, certainly stuff like this definitely for all of you. But also, as a reminder, if you are a sailor, E1 to E6, or an unaccompanied sailor, you can make sure to visit your MWR Liberty Center, where you can discover new interests, use computers, play video games. Oh my goodness! And you can hit clips like that, or you can play billiards, watch movies, and attend parties and other events such as outdoor recreation ventures and trips to explore the local area. Kind of like exploring the back of the net with a flip reset. Oh my gosh!
That was kind of nice. Where's the prop from Chow Mein there, man? Come on.
That was something that's really funny because this whole game, there's kind of like, yeah, whatever. It's like, I think we got this under control. I think it should be all fine. And then, well, you know, what could they possibly do with this one? And then they just hit a banger. Heck yeah.
It was a good banger, too. It was a grade A banger. Grade A of beef.
Crimsix is like, all right, you do that on me, then watch this as he's going to set up, I think, the Pogo. Yes,
no,
no,
no.
I thought he was going to miss that. I was like, oh, buddy, come on. Yeah, they opened net. Man, setting up the Pogo is crazy, though.
That's actually disgusting.
Wait, did he pinch? I was going to say that was a no bounce, and I was like, wait, did he pinch that between the post and not? And it went in, but I couldn't really tell all the way at the end. Either way, Chatter just sitting there, limp wrists, no goals, just watching Crimsix take all of them. Hopefully Chatter can at least get one here. Nope, he's going to go for clip, so I suppose maybe it's not unselfish, just he's unwilling. Meanwhile, Crimsix with a 70% shooting for this man.
What do we even do? What do we talk about? This is just a Crimsix show.
Yeah, I like how we were talking last game about, like, I kind of like how it looks like Crew Dogs. They understand when they got the win, and then they're just going to chill. Then Chow Main's like, we want that Brazil. Like, 100%. We are not stopping until we get it. And,
think they're going to keep it at Brazil? That's the big question.
I don't know. I mean, Chatter, that was a pretty aggressive
if you go for 8-1, I think that's what you get.
Yeah, a little bit. It doesn't look like he's going to pass it. So, yeah, he's just going to keep playing, keep away. I think they just wanted the meme scoreline, and therefore will probably allow this one to tick on down. Chow Mein looking impressive, most notably COD Pro Crimsix, definitely the real guy, getting all the flowers in game number 1.
Yep, real deal coming into this one. Had no idea. I got to get that negative 1,000 aura tag. It's really cool. But this was as domination as you can get. They came out early, literally with a 1-0 scoreline off of a beautiful, fancy shot, and then it just snowballed from there.
And sometimes that is really hard to be able to disrupt a team like that because a lot of it is just free flowing. The best twos players are the players who aren't really too strict in what they can go for. If any weird deflection goes in, if they get a boost steal and enough kind of like right positioning with each other, then you can turn anything to a scoring opportunity. But it's even better if you're just calming, hey, I'm just going to pre-jump this one, just hit it in this general area and I'll find my way to it, as Crimsix and Chatter would love to do. So definitely a little bit tough for our blue side, but we've seen some weirder stuff. I think at this point they just need to focus on getting some good defense, and then you build from the back, and hopefully you can get a counter and go from there. But either way, yeah, always a little bit difficult when you're going up against contenders like this.
A bit of a big hope there. I think that's putting it mildly. But we did get to see Gem score, and that was quite nice.
Yes, and being able to get a clip, that's at least something that you can just clip. You can
by the way, I clipped out the score line. Players.
Yeah, you could crop like kind of cut out and crop the top score and just be like, yeah, no, this is an overtime. Yeah, those for the dub. Like, really?
Oh, that's exactly what I did.
No, you remember it wong. That was a game winner. So that's actually a tournament winner.
That's exactly what I did when I played against Garrett G and Fire, and I clipped on him. Don't ask me why I was in that lobby, and we were definitely winning. Definitely winning.
Yeah.
So yeah, great.
If I ever heard one. Anyway, so if
we weren't even losing by that much. I think it was like 4-2 or something.
Sure. I mean, honestly, 4-2 I think would have been a welcome scoreline in game number 1 coming into this one for BG Abbott. But at the very least, we'll see if Chow Mein can keep up that efficiency. It looks like Crim6 is at least going to be going for a flip reset double. And of course, he's just as clean as in game 1.
This is just, he's styling. He's literally in free play.
Yeah.
It's absurd.
I mean, when this is
he's
honestly,
eating Chow Mein right now while he's doing these clips?
I feel that would take a lot of concentration. I mean, well, if you're holding the controller, maybe, I mean, if cleanliness is not an issue, you could probably like lean forward and eat it, like just with your mouth. Like no chopsticks, no hand movement grabbing the food. You're just like straight up dunking your face right in there.
No, absolutely not. No, you can't.
You can totally do. Do
you know how much oils you would get all over your face?
I mean, it doesn't affect your gameplay as long as it's not on your fingers and it's not making your fingers slip.
I think right now, if Crim6 wanted to, he could go chill by his net and then just get a quick chopstick bite full of chow mein and then just, you know, come back into the game. Like literally, like what's that challenge? You do like 1v2s basically if you're that much better. It's what the Smurfs do all the time.
That would actually be an insane clip if halfway through an air dribble you just put the controller down, take a bite of lo mein, and hit your double. Crim6, nice. Being able to do that. Honestly, that's actually exactly what you would do. You'd hit up a clip and then line up your double and then run your car and just fall into it. You put the controller down and eat a bite.
Well, that's what one of the most famous clips from CS is Tarek. He it's called serial.mp4 or whatever. Where he's in a corner on like Dust 2, he's eating cereal, and like literally right as a bunch of people are about to peek him, he just puts down his spoon, gets 4 headshots on the pistol round, and just goes back to eating his cereal right after.
Gotta lock in. All about timing. All about clipping. All about power. All about drive. Wait, no, I mixed those up. But
Cereal.
yeah,
I love cereal.
Yeah, all about cereal. I mean, maybe it's all about cereal. I'm not really a cereal guy anymore. I don't know. It's I feel like
Raisin Bran.
I need to rediscover some nostalgic cereals. Honestly, I've been craving some tricks lately. That's been something I haven't had in a while.
Oh,
I don't know why. That was something that I just like the other day. I was like, I could demolish a bowl of that right now.
Cheerios, Honey Nut Cheerios. I'm hungry.
Yeah, I need to stop mentioning food around you, especially with this chow mein. Even though you're disgusted by it, either way, Chowder.
Oh my
he's not
goodness.
disgusted with this one, except you count the skill. Might want that one back if you're Crim6.
I think he was just putting it away. But
yeah, maybe playing for the 50 or putting it at the corner, but either way, looks like B2 Abbott at least has had some stability getting this defense out. Problem is these clears aren't going too far because Chow Mein more than happy to just take it back, grab boost, and send it right on back.
Chowder, you get the possession again. M6. And just play for the 50s. Gonna play it slow, in fact. Half a game gone by. Chow Mein still with the lead, wanting to walk away with a decent scoreline for this one. Chowder, I don't even know what he was going for there.
I think he was trying to wave dash, like horse dash almost into it to get the shot, and then he missed it, so it just didn't go in. But either way, I think they're settling down in that game 1. They got scored on, so let's go for the Brazil. And then after that, they're just going to go for pinches like that. Yes,
Wow.
Crossbar down.
Wow.
Nice coordination.
The amount of accuracy on this is actually quite impressive to anger a car for the pinch. All the time. Ooh, that was a good sound, too.
Yeah, it's satisfying to be able to get those shots off. And also, I do always love it when players do go for the mid-air kind of pinches like that. Because sometimes it is just kind of showing off, and other times it actually does help you redirect things where you're like, I don't have a shot here, but you can get to the ball. Let me just hold it in place, and then we can use the power of friendship.
Power of friendship. Okay. Rio, Chow Mein is being delivered quite hot right now. Spicy, even. Crim6 tries to go for the pinch off the ceiling. Doesn't get the angle that they wanted. That's a great, actually, put back. But Chowder, Crim6 going to go off the ceiling. Chowder just gets it done himself.
Yeah, and I think he wanted something maybe a little fancier on this one, but was able to get the clean setup into the reset. And then, I mean, technically it wasn't musty, but, you know, ultimately I think he was like, whatever. It's on target. If I miss, it might still go in anyway.
This one, essentially done and dusted. A fake?
Sure.
Potentially. Crim6 going to go off the side wall. Gem's going to cut him off. At this point, Honestly, if you're okay, so if you're in this situation, Taco, and you have two people on the other side completely smurfing, do you just like look? Even Shadow is like, that's not good enough.
I can take it back. Yeah, try it again. They got to go for a clip. They got to go for a double. Even in this one, he's gonna hit the cross.
Do you just go back and forth trying to style for clips?
I mean, I think they're not going to really allow that, but I think if I'm Chow Mein, I'm definitely just hitting these clips. If I'm Beachy Wabbit, I'm just going to try my best to get a goal like Kitsune, being able to, ooh, I like that little fake out. He thought he was going to go for the reset, but instead tried to extend it over the top. Fortunately, recovery was locked in. So getting even just that one goal is going to be a task and a half.
Quite a bit. But Gem walks away with this one with a nice flip reset goal. I think you can be thankful and proud. However, still have just under a minute to play for this one, as painful as it has been for them. And Chow Mein, I think, just want it to be done. Gonna give a pass over to Crimsix. He's gonna go up the side wall. What are we gonna see? Who's the Price is Right guy? Bob Barker?
I mean, the OG, yeah. I'm like the GOAT.
Yeah.
Bob Barker, yes, potentially. Oh,
what do we got, Alex? Oh well, today. I mean, Bob. No one said what do we got, Bob. What's the meme?
I don't know. Admittedly, I have zero.
Tell them what
knowledge.
they won. Blah 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 blah. You know.
Come on down is all I know.
All right. What is our contestant one? It is a 2-0 in this series, as Chow Mein will run down the clock, and with it, probably go eat some Chow Mein, as this was a relaxing match for them. With this best-of-3 win. No 0-second scoreline. Get out of here with that!
No. Chow Mein, they're going to be moving on and playing water. So, I guess.
Oh boy.
I was gonna say a food-based matchup, but I mean, it's water. it's not really a meal. If that's your meal, then you should contact someone and probably get to the store, because you're really running low in the pantry if that's your only option.
I mean,
if
dude,
you freeze it, it's kind of like
imagine water versus sleep.
Well, hot water actually does turn off your hunger response. So, fun fact, if you're trying to avoid eating anything more. Yes. Salty hot water, chat. You heard it here first from the broadcast. But either way, we will have a little bit of replays to look through, and it's going to be a lot of yellow, as I called, even from this very first goal of the series coming through from Crimsix. And really, game one was just the Crimsix show.
It really was. I mean, Chowder got involved, but I think you could tell that Crimsix was trying to go for as stylish stuff as possible. And the moment, especially after that second goal, when they realized, oh, we're just kind of winning this, then you see Crimsix going for double flip resets, you know, sealing stuff, passes as well, and just playing for some fun.
Bonk. And being able to get those resets off. I think also sometimes when you get into these games, you're just trying to make sure you can ready yourself. And honestly, I don't really blame teams that just keep going for clips and going for more difficult stuff, because one, it can be fun for them, but I think also series like this in any level of bracket get a little bit weird, because you'll play a team that you know that, okay, let's just lock in, let's get the dub. And then you go to the next round and you play against a team of similar caliber. And then suddenly you're like, oh, we were playing so casually in the last game that I'm not ready for this. And it takes you that half step. And in a best of 3, you lose a game. I mean, you're already right at the edge. So you really want to make sure every game counts and you're always warm.
And so after this one, we're going to be going to our best of 8 with Cornball versus High Joy Bowl. Now, this is the first seed, which is the first time we're seeing them versus the 8th seed. I'm curious to see where this one goes.
High Joy Bowl sounds kind of like a strip mall food pop-up where you have no idea what they serve, and you're like, what could possibly be the menu options there? And you just have to like Google it to figure it out, because it seems like it'd be like a poke place. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe like one of those like protein slop bowl places, you know, where you just go and it's just a bunch of chicken thrown in there with like some vinaigrette and like salad, and that's just all they serve.
I love the fact that like corporate slop is becoming like an actual term now. Like my girlfriend brought it up to me, and I was like,
everyone needs a protein slop.
We kind of love
what's a while
protein slop. It's kind of great sometimes. It really hits.
I mean, there's a couple places near me that I have to say it has come in clutch, because that is sometimes what you need. You need to hit your macros, chat. So if you're not hitting those, you got to get those in. But they're playing against Cornballs, which is not at all something that could be a protein-based package. But regardless, we'll see who comes out on top of this one. The strip mall joint or the complete staple of your morning breakfast routine. It's going to be, is that Man Purple 9-7? What a name. And also PNW on our yellow side, playing up against Wait, is that low?
That's low tech.
There it is.
Sure.
Okay, Cornballs, deservedly our
Waves,
number one
too.
seed. Yeah, deservedly our number one seed. Man, we got some stacked teams in this bracket.
Yeah, this is going to be a pretty solid bracket. And low tech opening this one up at 1-0.
Yeah, Waves, really smart take there, but also Low understands a lot of the times in 2v2, you want to be able to keep the ball close. You want to be able to use your mechanics in these matches. But also sometimes when there is a ball that kind of spurts out in an unexpected way, keep the defense honest, just hit it hard and see how they deal with it. And in that position, I think based on how slow they were going, he realized if he hits it hard enough, they're not going to be able to recover. Waves making sure they get on top of this one, almost getting a fake up and over. But no, it looks like Highjoy ready for that one. And maybe even some more, but out of boost yet again.
So we'll see Cornballs try and play this one. Man Purple with actually a good fifth. You force Cornballs to have to reset, but as though I'm very excited for this top 8 though. If the amount of teams that we have are that caliber, that means the top 4 is going to go crazy. Waves looking for the second touch off the back wall, doesn't get it. Low Tech tries to get the rebound, and he does. It's 2-0 for Cornballs.
That's a little bit of impending doom when you see a player coming through the air like that. Man Purple jumps early, doesn't get it. That is why you have the second guy, but unfortunately, the plans don't really work out because Waves calculated for that. He got all the way around the ball to make sure that ball ricochets into the middle. Low Tech never going to miss that one, as he was the back-to-back winner of our last Navy MWR tournaments. He did it twice in a row, which means he had to get a new teammate for the second one and still won it. So this man very rarely loses in these events, and you can see why. Just absolutely sniping it from downtown.
Yep. Also, we need to point out Snow Day as well.
Yeah, he won the Snow Day events, and previously in other events, in the BS era, the before Seb era, we had some tournaments where Low has also won those in the 3v3 editions of these Navy MWR tournaments. So this man just racking things up. Honestly, he probably has to report these winnings in his taxes. He's getting so many of these awards and gift cards.
Ooh, that one actually almost ends up getting on. And this one, okay, so we've, Low Tech, you stole a good chance here.
Stat padding right now.
He is kind of stat padding. Look at that bump, though. Sent him to the moon.
Bonk. Oh, and well, actually, 808, I'm not sure if he meant to do that. He got pool shotted into that goal. So even when he's not even positioned to shoot it, he still will find a way to put it on target. Hallmark of a great player, I suppose.
And so we'll see how this one turns out. If Highjoy Bull are going to be another team that just falls victim, or are we going to see... That one was also pretty close, and you can see they're also trying to just work some style as well. Cornballs, though. Waves going to go for the musty double. Low Tech doesn't get the angle. Man Purple, this is your chance. You have the opportunity. It's an open at Man Purple 97 scores. Born in 97, I assume. That means you're 28 years old. Oh boy, we're old.
Or there's 97 other Man Purples that are ahead of them. And they had to go with, hey, Man Purple, no. Man Purple 1, no. Man Purple 2, no. It just kept going and got to 97.
That sounds like old Xbox gamer tag logic. Waves.
A little bit. Oh, that's so clean. That's so clean.
Actually so clean, dude.
But also just like a classic, like higher ranked player asserting dominance. Like, yeah, cool goal. Watch this right off the kickoff.
So, Waves making this one 5-1, and with it kind of running away with this one, and it doesn't seem like it's going to be close. Highjoy Bull just doing what they can to fight back, try to get some goals of their own, or at least punish them in transition.
Yeah, and it can be a little tough to be able to stay in these games, but you can see just Low and Waves not taking their foot off the gas. And I mentioned that's kind of important, especially as I said, we get into round 3. You want to make sure you're not taking these games lightly. You want to stay sharp because for all you know, you're going to be able to run into Chowder and Crimsix in the next round or something. You would just do not know how that really is going to shape up. So you want to make sure you're getting all your shots off, keeping everything razor sharp, even off the kickoffs. That one nearly found its way through. Good recovery by Man Purple, keeping it at 6-1.
Closer, I think, than they wanted. Man Purple, Waves, look over the second touch, does get the angle, and I will say that Crimsix and Chowder, with how they were playing the individuals, I actually favor them a little bit more in this case. Mechs are just looking a lot cleaner, despite the fact Low Tech makes it 7-1. Brazil! And
now we have to see if they were just doing it for the meme. If they got their 7 and then they're done and they're just going to burn the rest of the time. Because we got 2.5 minutes. A lot of time, just chill and wait and see how this one's going to work out. But at the end of the day, PNW, Pacific Northwest maybe? I don't know. Or, no. Or PWN, I mean, in ye old internet, that would be Pwn.
I don't
know if anyone uses that
because then you would type in.
Oh wait, no, it's PWN. That's PNW. Never mind. So showed my age for no reason.
Yeah. Yes, you did.
Also, my dyslexia.
Home
I
TV
suppose.
is also kind of a sweet tag.
Yes.
I never did figure out what Pwn actually meant.
It's like, actually, you know what? I'm wonder if I'm misremembering it. I always thought it was like you were owned, but like especially harsh. So it's like a power own.
Oh, maybe that's it.
I don't actually know if that's actually true.
I'm gonna Google that in the break after.
Someone Google that, then we'll get back to us. Someone in chat. I know you guys are hip.
Nice pinch.
Using
Look at that
engines.
pinch. My goodness.
Almost getting that one. Honestly, at this point, it feels like some of these guys, when they get enough goals, they're kind of just like filling out like a bingo card. They're like, okay, we scored that. Have we done a pre-jump aerial into a pinch? Yes. Okay, cool. Next one. Let's go for a musty. Then next one's breezy.
The flow chart,
etc.
Yeah, you got to go for every single type of shot. It's like a game of skate.
Yes, exactly. That was honestly, you can get some weird stuff. I remember back in my collegiate esports days, we would have a thing where if we played a team that we especially didn't like because they kept rescheduling or something and we were winning, if it was beyond a reasonable doubt that we were going to win that game, we would just start seeing how many shots we could rack up without actually scoring. So like how many frame hits we could get. And I think I have a screenshot somewhere on my hard drive where we have a game won like 4-1, and I think we have 32 shots registered. And I'm just thinking like, yeah, that's the worst shooting percentage of all time, but hey, that's just starting down.
Oh, man, purple! Man, bear pig comes out with another one.
Hit the gym waves. I'm sorry, but that's just
dude,
that's just brutal. Just absolutely donked all over right there, and crossbar in. So technically a double tap. We're gonna count that one.
Yeah. Also, wrong player. Donk is not in this game.
I'm not saying Donk. But a good callback to Donk.
Is it really a callback?
Say that.
18 years old. It's
Oh, are you referencing the CS player?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were. Well, there was a Donk previously in a Navy MWR, but either way, another one. Oh my goodness. Well, I mean, I don't think this is a true comeback.
4 goals.
It's kind of funny how
4 goals
coming off of hard reads.
Yeah,
4
this
waves.
is just completely demolished in red.
I will say,
was
Man Purple,
2017.
good credit to get the dunk, but also in the background, like on the peripheral side of that replay, he also got the bump on him on the recovery as well. So even if he had a chance to get back, hold on, no way. No way. Oh my goodness, the save. PW now! Oh, he couldn't get it over. Honestly, if he scored that one, I would have been like, this is actually like a ridiculously fast clip that they're getting these shots off.
Law of averages. I mean, surely they can make another 3 more goals or 4 more goals in that period of time. Almost does actually get another. It'll be waves getting it out. Low Tech is going to send it up high. That'll be a goal. Low Tech's no. We are going to run away with this one with 4 seconds left. Simple does.
Yeah, they will run away. And of course, honestly, all their military families, you also might want to run away, which is why the military community can save big when booking all their travel needs with American Forces Travel, powered by Priceline. American Forces Travel is a joint service MWR program where service members, veterans, DoD civilians, and their families can save on hotel, rental car, flight, and cruises. You can check out the deals at AmericanForcesTravel.com/Navy. And you can get up to all sorts of shenanigans, much like Cornballs did in that last game, Seb. I have no words. This team is just that good.
They are the first seed for a reason. They showed us exactly why. But I don't, like, call me crazy. I need to see more. The other teams are looking pretty good, man.
I would normally say, Seb, you're a fool. But while that may be true, I do agree with you in a certain extent because, yes, you see these players play and you're like, these guys are insane. This is so good. But then you realize, like, okay, well, they are playing against a team where, like, we don't really see them stressed. I think a lot of good players have these moments where they look insane, they look untouchable, every touch is flawless. But then you put them against a team that really presses them and forces them to think on their feet, and they kind of crumble. They don't really know what to do with it. So I wouldn't want to typically vote against Lowe. He's got, like, a whole list of players that I'm sure are begging to play with him in these tournaments. He's got the magic touch. He has a lot of first and, if anything, second place victories. I don't know if he's ever not finished in the prizing in a Navy MWR tournament, but at least for right now, he's definitely the favorite in the seeders' mind. He'll be moving on past round 3, and I guess we're just waiting for Burger League and Retut to finish on up and see who's going to be playing them in that semifinal match.
I mean, currently it's just the last matches right now. I mean, we have the top 8 going on. But this will be game 2 of our best of 3. Cornballs looking to run away with this one. They really haven't shown any indication that they're incapable, but at this point, it's just a matter of what are they going to run the score up to. Man Purple bumps his teammate. It actually kind of works out because they're able to take some of the possession. Wave's going to outpace him, though, and go for the solo play off the side wall here. See, you got one flip resets. Good save, though, from Man Purple.
Do like that save, but now they need the second one as well. If he didn't jump, he might have been able to recover on that one, but a little bit too delayed means Waves going to be able to, I would say, take this one, but Low says absolutely not. I'm going to grab this one and get the reset and get the deflection. Waves, how about you this time? Flip reset, double tap, triple tap, still has the flip. Oh my goodness.
Needed to pull out of the mechs here. Recognize there's a defender there and just makes it look pretty. 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, it's a little gross. But also with all that time, what else did you expect? That first flip reset kind of incapacitated the defense. They jumped, they were flailing at it. They're still trying to land and recover and kind of organize themselves, and didn't quite work out. So looks like Cornball's still going for some flashy stuff, even some passing. Oh, they get the pinch. If they got that angle off, that would have been the craziest recovery into that flick. But they're going to take the boring one. Okay, Waves.
Come on, guys. You know, make it fun for the people.
I mean, I guess this is like kind of a cool angle, but like not really.
No, if I can score it, it's not a cool angle.
Bro's got an RLRS tag. I mean, I just expect a little bit more out of Waves, you know?
But it's an RLRS tag, you know. That's kind of the goals they scored back then.
Season 5, were they even? Do they even know how to aerial back then?
Do they know how to flip reset? I don't know, man.
Actually, I don't even know. What season was the flip reset? Like, actually,
I think it was season
discovered
6, 7. Like discovered or like brought into.
Well, well, it was definitely beyond 6. Maybe it was.
I think people started using it like season 7.
No, it was definitely available in 6. Squishy hit a reset in the World Championship in 6. I'm going to say 5.
I think it was like 1. That was the one flip reset that was in the World Championship.
It was definitely not the one. But either way,
there was not that many flip resets
no,
in
I know. They
season 6
They scored a 5 in you know what? We're going to look back at the history of this one. I'm sure someone has the answer, but for right now, I'm sure Waves knew how to do it back then. But for right now, I would love to see Highjoy Bull learn how to do one right now. Let's just channel the spirit of our World Champions energy as they almost get that nice passing play, but unfortunately Crossbar says no.
Yeah, that was actually well placed too. It was just on the defender who was able to get up just barely in time. Low tech, Waves, taking the possession. Gonna go for the pinch. No one's gonna be there, but a good 50 as well. PNW TV needs to get down or else you're gonna get scored on as we pass the 3-minute mark.
And Purple, not a bad setup. Problem is minimal boost. He's going to have to save that flip. And I actually also like that approach. Thing is, you either need someone immediately approaching or take a 50, but Waves knew. Did not want to bite on that one. Loop to do, taking a lap, but also intercepted means Man Purple might be giving away an easy one. High lob, passing play into low. And of course, taking a boring goal, but hey, you still got to score him, build up that lead.
Yeah, though, I mean,
I didn't see the 360 setup, honestly.
Still not
okay,
you
get a little points back.
I mean, that's also what Rivals players thought style was back then, so.
just doing the basic little 360, like
oh wow, look at me, I can do a 360 in the air. Whew.
But like they're playing Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
Oh, Man Purple!
He's always all reliable for his squad. Every once in a while he'll get a look, but honestly, this is really clinically taken. He doesn't overthink it. I feel like a lot of players try to like slow it down and get a catch or a flick or something, but no, he just slaps that one top shelf. I like it.
This looks overall solid. Just accuracy is there. Good amount of sauce on the shots too. Man Purple will get demoed. Traded actually. Waves gonna go for the ceiling and just try and play the 50 slow. It goes a touch wide, so Lotech's gonna be there. Go for the pinch outside of it just to keep it in play. Waves doesn't get the read. This might be an open net. This is actually gonna be a lot closer, and it will. PNW TV put it 2-1.
Yeah, going for too cute of a touch there from Waves. He was trying to fall on it, get a light tap, and save the flip, I think, as he was trying to set forward kind of another attack. But then when you miss it, you realize, oh, right, this is twos. We don't really have another player to bail us out here. And while I'm not too worried for Cornballs, this is also the type of situation where if you goof around a little too much, you can start having a game get closer than it probably should be. So Highjoy Bull, how they handle this one, it's going to be pretty important. Trying to play conservative, play for these 50s. I like that one from PNW, staying in the play and getting that deflection.
And Purple wants to keep this going. This series going. A shot's going to go on. It will be saved. Low Tech keeps it out. Minute 40, and now your cornballs, yeah, exactly. You want to go for the individuals. You want to go for the solo plays. You want to extend that score line with just over 90 seconds remaining.
That's a tough one. Also understood that he had someone chasing him, so he's just going to speed this one all the way to the backboard. And even still, he goes so fast that you have to get the harshest of angles. Sometimes when you get a double tap, you want to actually slow down, even boost away from the ball to give yourself more angle to shoot at. But Lo just said, no, I only need like 10 degrees to be able to put that one under the bar. Really good finish.
So Wave's going to put one on. Wow, look, the grandpa can score.
I mean, yeah. I mean, there's anybody. He's also still a very active player within the leaderboards, so definitely have to run into him.
I think I saw Talk score a shot just like that today.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a solid reset. Definitely got the moves, and exactly why they're a first seed for a reason. Definitely a top competitor in the bracket, and they're showing why. High Joy Bowl, I think, will be overjoyed, just be able to get 2 goals, but maybe some more for the road. They can't clean it together, but at least kind of sweeten the blow here. 70 seconds to be able to get something going here in game 2.
So, just a minute remaining. 3 goals is not impossible if High Joy Bowl can get ahead of it. But Cornballs has just continued to be difficult, though Waves almost own goals there and tries to keep that one out, so he's going to have to play this one a bit smart. Tries to go for the juke over the defender. Or the pre-flip, excuse me, doesn't really work out. And maybe go for another attempt. Play this slow. Waste time, I'm assuming?
Yeah, I think Waves understands. Let's just burn down this clock, get this dub. We have a bit of a cushion now. Low, of course, says, well, we can still go for 002. And we'll get denied on that one. And Purple takes up the wall. Nice little quick touches there and almost beat out Waves, but Waves, as always, playing that shadow defense and taking down those final seconds here as all ricocheting all around. But High Joy Bowl, I mean, honestly, made game 2 really back and forth for just a half second, but my gosh, I don't think there's any shame in dealing with cornballs and unfortunately taking an L.
Not at all. I mean, this is our first seed for a reason, but High Joy Bowl, they got some goals on. It looked good at times. But of course, it is our first seed. Taking the win here once the ball touches the ground and moving on to our top 4 in this bracket here for Navy MWR. Cornballs take the win.
I was going to say, hypothetically, this ball will hit the ground eventually, but it just keeps going. There's definitely been times where, we've been both commentating a game and you're thinking, oh man, with that ball hit the ground.
And it's going to touch the ground.
Definitely
and it's on the ground.
be a win, but eventually, yeah, we will. It just keeps going and going. So, but no, mercifully, yes, they will let it touch. Cornball's moving on. As we said, they are our first team actually on the bracket right now that is going to be into that semifinals for right now, Seb. And yeah, as you said, these semifinals are going to be ridiculous. Still a single elimination bracket at this point, Chad. So this is not necessarily like, oh, we'll see these teams later. No, like you have to lock in. Make sure you get in that top 2 to secure that prizing.
And of course, with that, honestly, a great road. But with our bracket, we are sort of starting to whittle down a good amount of these teams. We still have the redemption bracket, but the top 4 will be coming down soon. We have our semifinals. It's not quite updated yet. You will see Cornballs move on to the semifinal spot, but the other ones, we have Burger League, we have Retut, we have Chow Mein and Water, Crew Dogs, and Cyber Warriors. Those are the last of the top 8 matches. Should be pretty good considering what we've seen from the likes of Chow Mein, what we've seen from Crew Dogs, and Cornballs as well. That's a lot of double named, like double
two word names,
names.
2-word food names. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
That's like Crew Dogs.
I think that was on purpose.
I don't want to claim dogs as food. So at least for right now, we'll figure out the logistics and ethics of that. But for right now, we'll figure out also how we're going to shape things up after this break. Don't go anywhere. More Navy MWR Esports Winter Series after this.
Are you ready?
Operational readiness
Manpower and mandate
are not possible without a lethal, capable, and ready Navy.
Navy operational fitness and fueling system. NOFS is an evidence-based,
human performance system
Providing fitness and nutrition guidance.
designed to build resiliency and durability.
by utilizing the system.
Sailors learn to train effectively, train safely.
Fuel their bodies appropriately.
NOFS improves operational performance.
Decreases the incidence and severity of musculoskeletal injuries
And reinforces fueling habits. Operational demands place physiological and mechanical stress on the body.
It is important that sailors are physically prepared
To sustain a productive and healthy career.
NOFS has moved away from a traditional fitness model
Into a movement-based system that restores movement.
trains movement,
and fuels movement. NOFS.
A training system designed to take care of the Navy's greatest assets.
our sailors.
Are you ready? America's Navy.
forged by the sea.
Navy Morale, Welfare, and Recreation can help your business build brand awareness through our exclusive military market. We offer a variety of customizable sponsorship and advertising packages through Navy MWR promotions, events, and digital platforms at installations around the world. Come make an impact on the lives of service members and their families, all while earning a measurable return on your investment. Find out more at navymwr.org/sponsorship. This year, make your next getaway a Navy getaway. Instead of heading out of town, discover what Navy Getaways has in store for you at your local installation. Make it a great getaway. Navy Getaways. Stay, play, and relax.
And we're back. See, we promised. And we have some more high-level Rocket League because we're back with the top 4 of this bracket. We've seen a lot of promising team sets, but now we actually get to see how they match up with each other because really that's what we're all about here. We're trying to see the best players in the military in this esports world be able to get some nice prizes to take home.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely still a lot on the line. We have $150 gift cards. We do also have the redemption bracket for some of these players who are most likely playing it. I am also curious to see, I mean, we've seen some surprising matches in Chow Mein and Crew Dogs. I'm wondering if we're going to get the same thing out of Water or Cyber Warriors, or if it's just going to be really a top 4 bracket to behold.
Well, regardless, we will be able to see Tut, another very high-level player. We're rocking into these things in Retut, as I should have known that is why they're named that way. Reject's a player I'm not as familiar with, but hey, maybe we'll get familiar with them with that goal. And also a very zoomed-out camera, if I saw that correctly.
Is that the old energy skin as well?
Yeah. Well, the old energy skin was rocked by... Well, Reject looks like he has a 20XX. I will have to see that one again.
I
But
think
a lot
it's
of...
tough that's worth the old energy skin, yeah. And that will be just a complete, as well, look at that, a complete destruction in the 1v1 here.
Yeah, and I do like this one. This is also just a tiny little play that you can use a lot in twos. Just kind of set up the slight touch, slow down, and then as soon as the other player starts accelerating, just hit it again. Well, it's got a Nike skin on the other side. Man, people are really digging deep into the collection on a lot of these presets. I like it.
Oh, Todd's able to do it again, and just like that, within the first 16 seconds, we have a 3-0 scoreline.
All right, at this scale, we are on par for a 48-goal game from Retut. If I'm counting that correctly. Hold on, no, that's not correct. So 15 seconds, 3 goals. That'd be 12 goals a minute times 5.
All right,
even higher than that.
university
Okay.
student.
Okay. Oh, we're still on pace. We're still on
that's
pace.
unfortunate.
Chat, buckle up. We're getting out of here in about 4 hours.
I think I brought tea.
Caffeinated tea? It's
Yes, actually, it is one to go.
well, there you go, because you're probably going to need it. As Retut definitely up there. Meanwhile, Burger League is just 2 casual buddies, one of which is cannot be said by polite company, apparently, with the censorship. I don't know what Rocket League is censoring out of. Oh my god, you guys got to calm down. Yeah, we are again on pace for quite the scoreline here.
I hope they kind of are able to, do what the other teams did. So we'll see. But either way, this is a great start for Retut here. Be able to get 5 goals in 30 seconds is actually not as common, even if you are like smurfing or whatever like. So it's just a great. Oh,
what is going on here? Okay, I feel like there's beef here. Like, I feel like prior to this lobby, Burger League was just like, hey, I think you're dumb. They're like, how dare you? And they just immediately decided.
What kind of name is Retut?
Yeah, they just decided to launch into
Oh,
a tirade
we
there.
have a leave.
Yeah, it looks like someone has decided don't really want to deal with that right now. Maybe a DC, but also I wouldn't blame them if it wasn't a DC.
Okay, well, we're gonna come back to us in the meantime. Listen, I don't wanna make any assumptions, but if that's the case, that would easily be the quickest DC I think I've ever seen in a computer.
Sometimes the Ethernet just flies out of your computer willy-nilly. You just can't stop it. Yeah.
Snowstorm, right?
Yeah.
Come through. Whoops. My everything disconnected. My brain as well, and my monitor and my PC and everything. But if it's not, then also that would be the quickest rage quit I've ever seen in my life. So.
Well, also, that's this. There's also, I guess, the alternate strategy you can take if you were in a matchup where you're like, okay, well, we've got the advantage. How do we press it? Maybe you just score and then hope your opponents are just like, all right, I'm going to peace out right now because, yeah, definitely a very good team. Honestly, this is probably the most stacked bracket we've seen in a while. Granted, it is also one of our higher signups compared to last week where I felt like we couldn't really get the word out as effectively as we could. Sometimes it conflicts the holidays, but now that the players are a little bit more back into the rhythm of things and they're a bit more available, we have Tut in here who has done a bunch of these tournaments. We also see...
We are back into it, so it seems as though it wasn't a DC.
Okay, so there we go. I guess we are going to keep on rocking within this one. Shout out to admin tools, allowing us to pause. But yeah, we'll have to see really if this is just them asserting dominance, and then they're going to be able to slowly move on through. But either way, Burger League definitely up against it here. It feels like there's 2 different like echelons of play in this bracket where there's like all the favorites and then everyone else unfortunate enough to match up against them.
We haven't even gotten through the first minute, guys. Just
like I said, we'll be here for a bit.
The clock.
Yeah, get your coffee. Just be able to.
Can I get my coffee?
No, I'm kidding. Be here for a bit. Ruin your sleep schedule. This is going well past midnight, and people are like, "But that's in like 3 hours." No. On the East Coast, you're fine. The West Coast, I'm talking about. We're gonna be here for several hours. Don't worry about it.
Yeah,
slowly whittling this down
right now, which is fine. That's the plan. But if you know, again, this is why in one of those games, right, it's for singles, excuse me, ones. Tut is going to try and put another one on. Okay, yeah, we're just going to run it up. All right, we're just going to run it up. Yep.
And I feel like in situations like this, it's not hard to really wonder what the mental health of going through a situation like this. 8 goals, 90 seconds in. If this were ranked, you wouldn't even be able to forfeit yet. So therefore, I do want to say that taking care of your mental health is just as important as staying mission ready. So listen up, everybody. The Navy Fleet and Family Support Program's virtual clinic counseling program, it provides confidential professional support to help you tackle life's challenges. It is accessible anywhere. This service is for sailors and their families. Visit navymwr.org/FFSP to get started. And honestly, if I'm Burger League, I'd consider it. Is there an in-game integration yet from the main menu? Lose a game so hard, you're like, can I get counseling for that?
Oh, I hope so. My goodness. But I think there is a reason why one's implemented an FF rule for situations like this. Now, typically in 2s or 3s, you won't see situations like this, but that's why they implemented that rule.
Yes, and honestly, I gotta wonder the approach here. We've seen like every different aspect of like how you deal with a lopsided scoreline. Do you just keep it going, or do you score enough and then you just kind of whittle downtown? I don't know. I'm genuinely baffled what is going on in the line of retut. They're just half these goals aren't even like necessary. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, is there like existing beef? Like they're just like running up the score like crazy. I haven't seen this. I haven't seen a act like this in quite a while.
Do you have a mercy rule?
I would suggest one. I think personally, it's like sometimes people are like, well, I mean, you don't want to institute a mercy rule because any comeback is possible, but we are in the double digits. So I feel like this would probably be something maybe just in the very back corner of the fine print. You can just be like, hey, listen, you can't do this one. Also, Tut, I love you. I've cast you a lot. Played you in ranked. You're a buddy of mine. I hate everything about what you're doing right now. We got to move on.
Just send him like 1,000 DMs on Steam right now. Just be like, hey man.
I'm about to DM him real quick and just be like, yo, you gotta chill. That's what I'm saying. Like, there's got to be existing beef. Like, this can't be fun, right? What are we?
Dude, like.
Either that or Reject and him have like a bet to see who has more goals by the end of this bracket. And they're
No,
just
because
like,
like
well.
they're passing to each other and stuff. So it's like they're equally trying to run up the score.
It's not even halftime.
All right, I'm taking a seat.
All right, chat. I mean, I don't know if we can get a prediction up, but like, I don't know. What are we thinking for like final score here? I mean, this rate, they keep going. Like, they're not scoring every single time going forward. I would say they're probably going to hit 20. I think they're going to slow down a little bit, but I think they might.
I don't think they are, man. You know, like I haven't seen any indicate, like even now. Yeah, look. Look, any indication that they were going to try and take it easy has been thrown by the wayside. I think this is the longest amount of time we've gone without a goal. That's nice.
Yeah, maybe even a dunk if they're not careful. Oh, no, mind. Okay, I didn't know if you didn't want to go for that
reset, shot on. Yep.
All right. Okay. Yeah. Cloud top. Yes, technically right. Roger said, "Oh, well, Casper gave him a nice shot for that, so at least they're keeping it real, understanding. Yes, that did take mechanical skill. Good job. I'm very impressed.
Congratulations. Mechanical skill of 13.
At this point, if I'm Burger League, I'm just sitting back in my chair and I'm gonna be eating a burger. Just be like, all right, let me just watch the show. That's really all there is to do right here. A boyga, yeah. Okay, when you say burger, like in your mind, what do you picture? I'm not talking brand, like ingredients on that.
Like, well, as this one goes, a burger, I imagine like a smash burger with like onions, cheese, and that's it.
Thank you. Because I was talking to someone the other day, and I was like, yeah, I could go for a burger. Like, oh, yeah, totally. And then they, like, were describing it. And I'm like, oh, well, you know, of course, cheese. And they're like, no, why would I have cheese? I'm like, what? I'm like, your default mental image of a burger is not a cheeseburger? And that just felt really
that's
sacrilegious.
Wrong. Yeah, that's wrong. Also, like a deluxe burger with, like, tomatoes, lettuce, blah, blah. Like, that's not my idea of a big burger. You know,
I think you can overcomplicate it, for sure. I think I like a sweet onion in there. I mean, that's a solid addition.
All right.
I'm a little indifferent on mustard, though. I don't know if
I
really
enjoy mustard
work.
with specific kinds of burgers, but not all of them. Peppers, I found, are surprisingly good in burgers.
Yes. I've not tried the peanut butter and jelly one. People say that's actually kind of
Oh, it's God tier. Oh my God,
I got
tier.
a couple patties in my freezer. I kind of want to slap some peanut butter on there and see how it goes.
When I went to Vancouver for MSI, I had a PB&J burger, and it was like stupid good. I was shocked.
Good to know. Wait a minute. Hold on. That is scoreable.
Hold on.
No, you rushed it now! if you waited for that angle, that could have been something for Burger League, but unfortunately, Reject says, well,
Reset.
this is your penalty. A reset right on your head? No. Okay. Has to be able to save. Wow, they really did slow down. They are not going to be reaching 20 at this point.
Oh my God.
Oh,
No.
no recovery on that one.
Are we going to see 15?
Gets a reset on that. It's a really clean setup.
That's actually
okay.
super clean.
Yeah, he can catch that one.
Reject
Yeah,
scores
that's actually
here.
something. Oh,
Nope,
more people
maybe not.
trying to. Yeah, that was a clear open down the middle, but I think you wanted to avoid that dunk. Pass middle doesn't work out. Caspa get a double. Could be pass. Someone rush it. Someone rush it. Someone rush it. Someone rush it. Someone. Oh, we're not even gonna get a goal there. Well,
15?
mercifully, let's say
15.
this
15.
one is gonna come to a close with a 15 from Retut. These guys. There's no mercy in that dojo. This is a Cobra Kai.
There's no mercy in the dojo.
This is a Cobra Kai type mentality. These kids just slapping everyone around all day long. My gosh.
Daniel LaRusso.
Bro one off an illegal move, I'm just saying. Anyway, you're going in to this one. Game number 2. Shockingly, this was not 16 different games. This was actually a single game. So looks like it will come to a close after Rejack hits a flip reset musty. That will be denied. Get out of here, says Caspa. And no one scores 16 goals on blue team.
No one scores 16 goals in a row against Daniel LaRusso. No, I'm kidding.
I'm blown away you remember a last name. I do not. I do
Dude,
not
it's
recall that.
just, yeah, I don't know.
Just
hear it a
trapped
lot.
in your mind. I mean, at least for me, yeah, I would say there's asserting your dominance, and then there's what some may contain as cyberbullying. That sounds,
I think
seems
this
like
is,
something,
we thought we saw bullying. Now we've seen bullying. That was
it
pretty
seems like
bad.
almost something that if this was part of like general everyday service, the military would like write you up for this. It'd be like a disciplinary action. Like, hey, this is not what we stand for, fellas. Like,
Taco, now this
is just
your,
egregious.
Now this is your responsibility to DM Tut right now and be like, bro, chill out. Okay. We
Yeah,
all got-
I'm sending this right to
we're
your CO.
on a schedule. Right.
I'm sending this right to your CO. You're gonna be running laps, and you're gonna be doing ammo count for the next next couple days, just over and over, just counting every single bullet in the store. But either way, we will be able to see game number 2. Oh, reject. Okay, right off the rip, did not get a goal.
Okay.
And
oh,
also with the
demo.
Wait a minute. Hold on. That's a boost spawn. Golf ceiling.
Rock
Golf
the
ceiling. I know you want to.
Casbah.
Oh,
Rock
double.
the Casbah.
Oh my gosh. Rock the Casbah is not a song I've heard referenced in. Man, you're really on a retro music kick lately.
Oh man, dude. I mean, yeah, you should my TikTok. It's going
Yeah,
places.
it's going crazy. Look at this man.
Hold on.
With the self plug. Anyway, reject with the long clear. Honestly, Burger League looking a lot more confident. Problem is they're gonna have to maintain that throughout the entirety of this game and be a little bit difficult. But hey, it's 45 seconds in and they have not been scored on. That's like
Wow.
the
Oh my
best
gosh.
comeback story I've seen.
No, definitely not. But yeah, like you mentioned, already a better game. We might actually get out of here before midnight. Great. What? Yeah. Oh,
Wait,
that's
hold on.
that
I
was
think
actually
that was a
clean.
save.
That was.
Oh, wow.
Ooh, what a save!
Okay, I see you. And then we'll see Rejects take that one all the way back. I guess we're going for the absolute other side of the spectrum, get a 15 toe, and then we
okay.
get a neck-and-neck game in game number 2 or something. Really solid saves, though. Even with the pinch, not going to be able to fool octuplet asterisk. I don't know what to call this guy.
Just call him censor.
Let's call him boop.
No,
Oh,
just
open net.
like physically the word
Oh,
censor.
that's a worst possible roll as it
There
rolls
is
up
also
and
a
over.
Call of Duty player named Censor. It's pretty good.
Bro is wasn't he the guy who also did the pull-up world record?
Yes, he was jacked.
Yes,
Was. Still is jacked.
I was like, yeah. I'm like, I'm fairly certain he's still very in shape. And
Still
Caspa.
scoreless though. Surprisingly, it's gonna go off the corner, but see, Retut have the ability. I mean, they've shown they have the ability, but they're not playing with their food right now. And at the moment, it's going quite even thus far.
We'll see Another deflection, and that one actually works out that they didn't hard win that one. It does ricochet all the way to the far side. That is not also going to be easy to eagle because that is going to go well past the back post. Near side, high lob. No one going for it, but Casper taking no chances. Quickly up and a double. Oh, what the? His older brother grabbed the controller back, so the Casper's just playing out of his mind. Almost hitting these double taps. I see you.
I mean, what a change in pace. This is the prime example of flip reset over one.
Oh.
Caspa doesn't get it. Retut, finally, after 2.5 minutes, is on the board.
We geared up unfortunately, the Rocket League fates for that one as Caspa had enough boost, but I think he was expecting that reset to flick up. I think he kind of jumped too early and then halfway through realized that was not going to go as high as he thought. Fortunately, jumps right over top of it. But hey, only one. But of course, I say that. Here comes the play from Rejack. Off kickoff, double tap. That is all his.
My
bang,
goodness.
bang, back to back.
I mean, at least if you're going to be able to dominate, at least do so in a stylish fashion. This is a good, clean recovery, able to get the second touch. Beautifully done.
And I also like how these are coming off. I know you mentioned, like, yeah, I thought, like, maybe they're just trying to see who could score them more. But you mentioned, yeah, they are passing to each other. That's a coordinated fake off kickoff. Just kind of roll it back, lob it up there. And always kind of fun when you have a good player because you can just put it anywhere in their general vicinity and they can make a play out of it.
Jack. Hopefully an unknown goal. It's not going to be punished, though. Tut's going to leave it. 2 minutes on, and thus far, been a much more even scoreline, whatever that means anymore. But this is still much better than the previous game. Casper tries to put a 50 on. Are we going to see a goal? No. Close, though.
Unfortunately for Burger League, you're going to have to way closer to be able to shut that one down. Speaking of, you got... Okay, I think Rejack was trying to... I think he was between two different options. I think he was trying to go for another reset, and then maybe he was thinking about a plan B, and then that just didn't work out. He might have a double reset here, at least, but nothing doing on that one. So the clip's not clipping, but I don't think I'm really too opposed to that one, considering this is a much more easy breezy game time-wise.
At the moment, it just feels like it's Retut waiting for their time. Caspa tries to put it on, but no. Reject gets the save, and that's a Cuxer pinch just for good measure.
Really do like this from Rejack. Always something to practice and free play from time to time because this is something that actually comes up all the time in real games where you're dribbling it and you might have an air dribble, but you don't really have the momentum and you haven't had boost. You know what? Let's just like see if the defense is paying attention, especially if you see him going to the mid boost. Not necessarily a mistake from Burger League, but hard to keep all the options closed on up when you're playing against a team as good as Retut, especially when they're, I would say, going for the passing plays, but that was just a very deep clear, basically back into his teammate as we're entering the potential final minute of the bracket lives here for Burger League.
We'll see Rejack. They get the second touch. This is going all the way down. Tut able to chase it down. 43 seconds for Burger League to get on the board and make this not a shutout, as it has been. That one is off as well. That was probably the best chance.
Yeah, Caspa just not able to turn in time, but hey, sometimes, you know, you're able to take advantage of those opportunities. Other times, you kind of just have to watch them coast on by. But as you mentioned, still time, and especially if they can get some of these 50s, get an experimental Retut. Caspa off his own backboard. Might have to regret that one as Rejack really trying to stat pad on some of these, but again, not quite working out. Final 10 seconds as Retut, a ridiculous scoreline in game number one, a lot more conservative of one in game two. We'll see what they can do in the final moments as they're trying to end this one in style up the side wall. Rejack, close angle double, maybe getting a ton on the pre-jump, not even close, but doesn't really matter anyways. We do have our team going up forward. They're going to be playing, you knew it, Seb, you knew it was coming. They're playing cornballs in this next round.
I don't, you know what? I think Retut deserve to go against Cornballs. I'm not going to lie. I think they deserve it, and I think they deserve to get slapped around a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's a little bit of recalibration. Obviously, I'm curious about what happened to that game number one. Burger League, unfortunately, was at the business end of a lot of those mechanics. But hey, GG's Burger League, this is a pretty stacked bracket. In fact, we have multiple teams. Like pretty much the entirety of our top four is going to be absolutely filthy at this rate with talent. So with previous winners as well from the previous Navy MWR events. So being able to get into that is difficult. If you're able to make the top 8, which they did, then kudos. That is no easy task.
Yes, and again, like you mentioned, the top 4 is going to be quite heated as well. I think the only other 2 matches we have, or the only other match in the top 4 that we have left that hasn't been played is Chow Mein versus Water. Water, you know, we're kind of seeing what they have to offer, but you imagine Cornball, Chow Mein, Retut, and Crew Dogs, that is actually a pretty beefy top 4.5.
Yeah, this is all for the history of everyone who's tuned to Navy MWR. This has been an event that Navy MWR has put on for a while. These Rocket League tournaments, these Call of Duty tournaments, where we have had returning players. If you win, you have to change your team up. So, for example, if you win one tournament, the next day you can play, but you have to switch things up. We've had 3v3, we've had 2v2, we've had Snow Day now, and yet every single player in these top 8 players, in these top 4, the likely top 4 teams we have won an event before for Navy MWR. So yeah, we're definitely not messing around, especially now that we see, wait a minute, hold on, we have Crow and Lights, also different players who have won Navy MWR. So top 5 teams remaining in this bracket are incredibly stacked.
So is this going to be our first competitive match of the evening?
I would have to say so. Chow Mein, definitely a team we've seen. Crimsix was stacking on goals, but Crow and Lights, 2 very good players within the ecosystem.
Do you remember Lights?
Military Rocket League.
Do not remember Crow, but I think this is going to be pretty spicy regardless. Remember, coming into this, Chow Mein is the 18th seed, Miss Seed for sure. I think they were just a last-minute entry. And then for this one, that's going to be saved. But already, look at the pace of play. Look at the movement. Look at the saves. Look how different this is compared to the previous series.
Yes, and this time we'll probably only see like 12 goals, like just a 12-0, something like that. But no, I think this one definitely will be hyper competitive, especially if people are overcommitting. That should roll actually really nicely for Lights, as he's going to try to dish that one back post, not looking too aggressive. Crow, temporary touch, kind of dishing it in a weird angle, and he's going to get his own touch until the post says no.
Crimsix.
All the way on the counter, Crimsix is trying to take advantage, but Lights, he knew the danger. He got right back.
No, it was actually so smart from Crimsix because Lights even pre-jumped for it, also to just stay back. But Crimsix just punted it out rather than play the softer touch that would have easily went to his net. This one's also dangerous. Crimsix is going to have to dive up for this with no boost. Good rebound. Still saved. Brilliantly done from Chow Mein.
I am blown away that this is a 0-0 game still. Waters had like 3 or 4 open shots right down the middle, or has gotten saved off a pre-jump or just like a desperate dive. It's one of those games that tilts you the more you play it, because you're not losing, but it feels like you should be winning, and that's almost just as bad.
Yeah, because especially then if if Chow Mein do score, then it feels so much worse because you know that you had more of an opportunity. That one was almost on.
That was almost a perfect shot. And speaking of, Shatter almost got caught on this one. We'll get the double tap, or so he thought. Another deflection. Crimsix, he's failing. I like the delay by Crow, and honestly, would have been an easy goal if he could just find that way to put it on target. We said this might be a competitive game, and honestly, I have no idea when these goals are going to come, because the recovery from Chow Mein has been spectacular, despite them getting a majority of the pressure.
I'm not going to lie, Taco. I don't think I've been more appreciative of a 0-0 score line for half a game in my life.
This is why twos is such an appreciated game mode, because it is a lot more open space. It's fewer players zooming around, but it can mean that you can get hyper aggressive on stealing boost and challenging the ball. And I think we're seeing kind of the tense nature, which makes Rocket League kind of what it is. So unfortunately, that also means it's going to lead into a lot of experimentation and maybe some risk taking. I like the demo attempt from Water. Doesn't quite open things up, but even these deflections getting closer and closer to finding its way between the sticks.
I mean, that's the thing, is that Chow Mein are going for these 50s. They're playing quite defensive when they need to. Now you see Water just trying to light up, no pun intended, the offensive zone a bit more. They're edging closer and closer to their target. Ooh. And there it is, Crow, after half a game, able to put Water on the board.
Light says, okay, that's my only assist. Just kidding, bang. Just slaps Chowder right into the back of the net. And honestly, my favorite type of play, just be able to lob one quick and then immediately, it's almost like the equivalent of the alley-oop, I would say, in Rocket League. You just got to lob one quickly up, and then you can kind of fence out any defender that might come on through. But that is a good way to get your first goal. Problem is, this one might be the immediate answer, if not for Lights. Not only getting the save, but keeping it to the side. Make things difficult for Crimsix. He's trying to get a dish, but ultimately has to play for possession.
See Crow defensively does get beat, but the 50 goes in Crimsix's way. Beats another. Light's gonna have to collect as Crow just tries to buy time in twos. Chowder needs to be there. Crimsix will be there instead. So it will be the solo effort all the way up. Still behind, last minute of gameplay. Chowder finally with some space. Lights doesn't get the perfect first touch that they wanted. The 50 just goes a bit weary. So last minute of gameplay. Again, I've never been more grateful. And now Chowder trying to put one on, but Lights catches up in time.
Water doing a good job of making sure they're going forward and getting aggressive on these reads, but never actively diving all the way in. Notice that even when they go for a play, they'll usually kind of slow down. They won't use their flip just so they can get back quickly and at least get a fingertip or I guess a bumper tip on some of this ball so that it's not ever an easy read. And that leads to Chow Mein taking more risks and being in no man's land. Crow sees he's a bit too far out, lobs it right over for 2.
I think also partially this might have been a vision problem. I don't think that Crimsix knew exactly where Crow was positioned. And it's just one of those classic cases of, okay, someone is in transition, you have to play defense, but the vision just isn't there because they're tucked behind the ball. Where the Harry touch essentially just went a bit awry. 30 seconds left. Water. Solid lead, and now it's nice to know this is how Chow Mein plays when they're going up against, you know, a pretty good team. And Lights able to make it 3-0.
Chow Mein was playing Lights out, but you're playing against Lights now. And this man is definitely going to be turned on right here for these shots. Look at these reads, top corner, not missing. Honestly, I'm just happy to see that they're putting it to the posts on these shots. Before, I was kind of saying, yeah, it is kind of crazy that we do have these shots, but they're getting saved. But a lot of them are like right down the middle. I think they're rushing it. Now they're just like, actually, let's like make sure it's actually a clean shot. Speaking of, another little pinch, but even that one not going through.
Pretty good Lights joke talker, by the way.
Yuck.
5 seconds left, and with it, Water will be able to collect game 1 in this best of 3. Very much in a smooth fashion. Relatively smooth.
Oh my God, Crow. I don't know why, just the way he took off on that, he just immediately just like boing right out of the camera. So that man, he's completely energized, and they look supremely dominant in that game, despite the fact that we're not seeing a crazy amount of passing plays. We're not seeing a crazy amount of mechanics. It's really just clean, effective, honestly, tech Rocket League, just playing for your reads, getting good 50s, positioning appropriately. Yep. And I feel like, as you mentioned, they did not get tilted by their early frustrations in getting a bunch of saves delivered against them. No, they actually just kept with it, and eventually, just with concerted, consistent pressure, were able to get that dub. And now we had a lot to think about for Chow Mein, as again, still best of 3.
Yeah, I mean, it was it's a bit hard to differentiate sometimes as to which is just potentially wasted opportunities versus what is consistent offensive pressure. And it seems as though Water, that they delivered the latter in that case, where they were able to just consistently put some shots forward, frankly, just beating Chow Mein to the ball, which part of, I think the problem for Chow Mein is when you are going from one MMR of an opponent that's significantly lower and then having to adjust your gameplay to that versus then coming back up to an SSL or higher ranked team, then there are certain pace issues that you tend to run into.
Yes, and it's kind of like the always delicate balance of how fast you want to play and also how organized you want to play. And the best teams can max both of those out, and it's all good, especially since these players, they're in comms with each other, they're VCing, and they're making sure they're locked in because there is money and prizing on the line. So with that said, Chow Mein, they're not going to be sitting down. They're not just going to be taking this. They will be taking that demo, but they bite off too much if you're Water. That's going to be an easy one for Crimsix, and he will thankfully make sure Chow Mein is not shut out perfect swept in this series.
Yep, Chow Mein will finally get on the board, but it was just a really solid touch from Crimsix to open this one up. I don't know if you made another pun there, but I'm wagging my finger at you because you made another pun. So,
did I? I was not even. I don't even remember
you said
what
bit
I said.
off more than you can chew against Chow Mein.
That's not even like a pun. That's just like a term.
Yeah, but it's a food.
Yes, I don't know. Either way, we actually might see an answer right away. Crow from the blind side.
Patience.
Could not surprise our goalkeeper, but that's now Chowder turning into the offensive juggernaut, going for some bumps. Not going to work. Now with a double boost steal. Chowder looking for the angle. Nice bounce down. Lights is going to get immediately chowed, but because did a good job to get enough of that read and keeping this one at a 1-goal game.
Flick over one, but the midfield is covered. The follow-up, though, Light's going to be able to collect a boost. It's going to go off the wall. I can see this turning into a solo attempt, so it's going to go off one, back wall. No one there to follow up as Crimsix plays it patiently. Crow, though, is going to be able to really bring that back, but Crow will get demoed for his efforts. This one actually could go through, but it was a light touch from Lights. Made it a bit more difficult to follow up on. Water going to have to work from behind once again.
Yeah, lights went up for that late, and he's lucky that did not get any worse for him, but he got enough of a deflection. Means Chow Mein was not able to capitalize. Neither on this one. They're going to have to take it from right to left. Crow patiently waiting for it. Now a double tap in the middle. Maybe get a dunk as well, but no, there is no help available on the breakaway. The spawn's going to be coming in. He knows where it's coming from, but does he have the read up above? No contact, and therefore no second goal for Crimsix.
Yeah, definitely one of the easier shots you need to be able to handle, especially when you're playing at this sort of MMR. Chowder is going to go for the redirect. Doesn't get the perfect angle that they wanted. We'll collect again, but there's no boost to speak of on the Chow Mein side. They're going to have to steal some boots if they want to stay alive, or at least go and reset. Half a game gone by. Water look a bit poised here to get something going. Lights is going to try and just send it up. Crow's going to come in for the rebound and support. Nothing will come of it, but Water getting closer and closer.
Crow, nice double, and that's past two players. All he's got to do is guide it in the middle somewhere. His teammate can reach it, but no, the recovery from that first player, making sure they are not embarrassed. Boost steal, giveaway, far post shot, not far enough. Crow positioned for yet another clear.
Now Lights needs to play this 50 well. Needs to just waste some time down. Remember, this is only a 1-goal game. And already, you can see how much pressure Water is wanting to put on. That one, you got to chase that down, Lights, if you want to prevent this scoreline from getting out of your hands.
You also need to get that catch, but maybe got called off. Either way, Crimsix had a chance to be able to get that 50. Does not get over it, so it will ricochet to the corner. Chowder, a lot of boost, using most of it just to stay near the ball. Crimsix going to take that handoff off the ceiling. Crow's got no boost. Lights got no boost. Someone's got to jump for this one. Back post off the crossbar and no challenge. Still 90 seconds, but sometimes you got to think. Understand your resource advantage. Use your mechanics. Get your pass off. Get your pinch off. Back post again going to be missed. Ricochet, middle, finally. Crimsix is going to be able to double the lead.
And Crimsix taking his time on this shot, recognizing that the defensive rotation was just completely out of whack, putting it wide. Pro actually almost was very close to getting a hand on that, but Water need to find their way back from 2. Chow Mein getting the insurance goal.
And being able to just be able to take that deep breath and understand that you're back in this. But of course, I say that there's no follow-ups. That's sometimes the problem of not grabbing pads and going to your corner to get that 100 boost. Some play kind of ricochets out and you're just not able to capitalize.
I mean, it is kind of the unpredictable nature of kickoffs at times. They're not always choreographed or perfectly predictable. This one's going to go off the back wall. I don't think we see anyone go for the challenge. Crimsix is just going to play the midfield. The 45 seconds looks a lot better for Chow Mein this game. They've been able to just keep this one just out of reach for Water.
Trying to play the delicate, soft touches, but you can also see with the lead, Chow Mein has generously offered to just go right back and play more conservative. But the thing is, you got to catch back up with that higher pace. Water keeping it interesting.
Well, within the last 25 seconds, this is very doable. All it takes is a kickoff goal, or at least some sort of advantageous position, but Water just beating out the defender here, and that's where kind of the passive approach of that second man from Chow Mein really starts to bite them a little bit. Bro, no boost to speak of. Going to be able to steal the boost, actually, but Chowder is just keeping it high, whittling down that clock. The demo is actually going to work in their favor, especially with the boost, but Pro needs to go in for some sort of 50 unless this one goes out of his control. Last few seconds will wind down on the clock. Pro, Lights, chasing down the demo, tries to get it on, but there's too much experience. Chowder going to go for the Psycho just for fun, keeps it up. Pro gets a hand on it. Actually can do this if he gets the flick right. Gonna carry it through! Crow ties it up at 0 seconds.
You can't do that! You can't do that to him! Crimsix is already up. He knows he has to play the flick. He's 100% at the mercy of Crow. And the cojones on that man to not only go for the Psycho to keep it up, but then when he gets a chance 1v1, able to tuck it underneath. The comeback is real, but doesn't mean anything if they can't get this next goal overtime to potentially decide the series.
It's doable. M6 needs to be there. Lights with the catch, but he doesn't get the flick over. Chowder too. Already, both teams pulling out the stops.
Crimsix rushed that one. I think he wanted to double into one smooth motion, but doesn't work out. And now he's going to be working with no boost and needs to rely on his teammate to get that skim. Corner boost grab. Crow with the immediate response, and Chowder's just going to play for that open space and hit it to where he can potentially just build something a bit more organically. If not for Crow, send it right on back.
Oh, this could be dangerous, especially if the cut comes through. Crow. Chowder's just going to go on by. Crow's going to chase down this demo. Crimsix and Chowder will reset. Not the best 50 from Crow, and now you can see Lights is all awkward. Still dangerous. No boost really to speak of, but Crow's able to get a 50. Be able to try and just use as little resources as possible so that Lights has the time to collect some pads. But even then, a minute into this, it looks so dangerous here for Water.
Lights reset. It was trailing away from that back post, but you don't want to take those risks and not go up because anything can happen if you lock in the right angle. Wave dash. Chowder. No boost. Wait a minute. Diving in is Crimsix. Luckily, their yellow opponents were not able to hop on top of this one, but maybe they could on this one. Crow, back post, and yet still just a bit too high. A lot of these shots, if they're just not so rushed, maybe had a bit more potential.
Oh, but no, look at the boost. Look at the boost. It's going to be so dangerous, but Chowder able to make it work. Not really used a ton either. Crimsix gets completely destroyed by the post. Water is able to walk away from this one just barely in this game too, but collects the win and moves on in our bracket.
Definitely want that one back. If you're Chow Mein, you were able to mount back this nice lead in game 2, but the better team at the end is the one that does take the series dub 2-0. Excellently done. Of course, we got to talk about that clutch play for Crow, but being able to also then carry that through and win in overtime, I mean, that's championship caliber right there. That's exactly what you want to see out of your top 4 teams.
That is, and considering what we saw from Chow Mein earlier today, I mean, this is just Water playing a really strong match all the way through, never really letting the pressure get to them. But also, I mean, in all honesty, from what we saw from Chow Mein, it never really felt too much that Water was on the back foot. They were just kind of biding their time. Yes, a goal would go in here or there, but they always took it back into that blue half one way or the other, and it was just very difficult for Chow Mein to keep that consistent pressure going.
Yes, and I think that's one thing that we see a lot of. And that's also why in those previous rounds when we see all these really high-ranked teams, we're saying, yeah, let's see how they shape up. Because obviously Chowder and Crimsix were playing insane. In fact, a lot of these build-ups, you look at these passing plays, really do click in and you're thinking, okay, well, that's really going to be really hard to defend. But it's those tiny transition moments like this from Lights and Crow where they were just dialed in. They were not missing the opportunity on these open nets. And man, I cannot see this enough times. This is so icy from Crow to trust that he's got that angle in the lower 90.
So with that one, it seems as though Water will be moving on. Fortunately for Chow Mein, the 18 seed doesn't really kind of work out for you there. So they will be moving on to face Crew Dogs, who ended up winning their match against Cyber Warriors. And that means our top 4 is finalized, Taco.
Yes, and we will be having our 4 teams shaping off a little bit soon as we have Water and Crew Dogs, as you mentioned, in one of the semifinals. And then we're going to be tuning in to the other side as we take a look at bracket. Cornballs and Retut on our, I guess, left or yellow side of the bracket will be facing off to see who will be our first grand finalist. And honestly, the way that Water is playing, definitely no surprise that they deserve this in the 2-0. At this point, I'd be pretty shocked if we get 2-0s or at least any lopsided games. I think a lot of it is going to be neck and neck. This is entirely SSL lobbies at this point.
Yeah, again, like this is pretty much a SSL 2s match all the way through, and at this point, it's just going to be stylistic differences. Any predictions on what you might see for our finals?
I think the safe bet is just to always go low tech. I think Cornballs is definitely always a team that I like to root for just because he has a way of always finding his way into the grand final, making sure it goes far. But I really did like Retut. The thing is, they were kind of just in free play for a lot of that. So I think that semifinal we're tapping into next.
Show some respect to Burger League.
I mean, Burger League, I mean, I have their merch, you know, I've been fans of them since the 90s. You know, that ancient org, definitely a real thing. Don't look it up. Don't Google it. But, you know, the org has fallen on a hard time. They're not able to, you know, sign the best players sometimes, and that just happens. But at least for right now, I would say, either way, you could flip multiple coins, I guess, for all these teams, and all these teams equally likely and equally defensible picks for our eventual winner. That's just how good all these squads are.
Well, we are just prepping for our next match right now, which will be Cornball versus Retut. And yeah, we will find out kind of who walks away out of that one. Like you mentioned, Low-Tech, probably one of the most decorated players that we have in Navy MWR, have continued to just shine throughout the course of his time here. It doesn't matter. The team always finds a way on top. I see a kitty tail. And sorry, I just distracted my. Oh, I heard a meow. That was cute. But for the time being, yeah. Do we get a guest appearance?
Oh, she does not want to be picked up right now. You're gonna come with me anyway. You're okay. She's okay. She's okay. Oh, look at her.
So cute. Oh,
Fine, I guess we'll cast. God, I guess we'll do
fine. I guess we'll do our job.
I guess we'll do our job. Okay, whatever, production. I guess we gotta get into a game as I don't care who these players are. But if you guys want to know, it is Cornballs, it is Retut in our semi-final to determine who's going to the Grands, who's going to be locked in to guaranteed prizing.
Now, it is important to know that for Cornballs, they did, in fact, try quite harder in their previous match in the bracket. Whereas Retut, I mean, I don't know if they were they were trying. You know what? No, they were trying quite hard. We all know we want Cornballs to win this one because they wanted to win a match 15-0. No bias.
And maybe a little biased, but we just wanted that game to end, ultimately. I just wanted to be able to move on with my life, maybe cherish my family and my friends, be able to say I love them just one more time, because I wasn't sure if I'd ever see them again, if that's the way that game was going.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
so
if it was going to go 50-0, I'd have to call my mom. Be like, hey.
Yeah, just be like, hey, I think I'm going to miss the trip.
Yeah.
Next year.
Yeah, exactly.
It's going to take that long, but
I'm not going to be home for Christmas. What a save from
If it was like that, I thought that was going to be the open. I thought it was going to be a smooth transition.
That very much looked like the angle.
The pre-jump save.
Yeah,
taking it away.
Waves. Play this one. Jack. What a tut. Low. Good 50s, though. Proper SSL Rocket League now. There is no more easy matches between these two.
And I do like that chase down into the demo, understanding exactly what his opponent was going to be able to do. Wave's actually a player who does play a lot of 1v1, but the thing is, it's not going to help him if he's not anticipating the psychopathic challenge off the demo spawn. He just immediately rushes this one and gets rewarded.
Yeah, that was actually... A lot of the time, you would just buy time for your teammate to try and rotate back and play more for goal line saves, or even like try and aggress a little bit more to force the pressure, but I just don't think that Waves was expecting it. It will be Retut able to earn the first goal in this series, especially against the first seed. Definitely a lot to play for.
Waves really taking his time on this one, and unfortunately Reject has no patience for that. He might actually land on this one. That's a close one for Lud. That is what happens when you don't calculate your catch. Tut immediately gonna punish.
Yep, immediately punished, and not really looking back either. Low, this was like a really hard one to do around, and getting that angle, especially when you're playing that close to the goal line, like, yes, it's gonna be bouncing off the post. So 2-0 for Retut. I expect another 15 goals in the next 3 minutes. But we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see if they can maintain. Honestly, that would be ridiculous if they just get a 15-0 and we're like, yeah, it's all because they were, not playing against one of our top seeds. They just pull a 15-0 again. You're like, oh wow, okay, because they're actually just that good. But
what
maybe
has
they're
been
not.
the biggest blowout in like an official RLCS like top secret match?
It's got to be a double digit. I want to say I've seen like a 10-1, but I can't off the top of my head remember. That's something that I'm sure we can ask. Direct.
Yep.
One of those stats nerds or whatever. Someone can dig deep on that
Is
one.
this
And
demo
other people
enough
can dig deep.
time?
And maybe
Yes, it
spawn up that
is.
demo. No, knock it back. And yes, it looks like we will not be having any shutouts here.
No, potentially even a close match though. If Cornballs can get this started, it's a good start for them. Retut gets punished off of the demo, and hopefully it'll keep them just a little bit more passive, a little bit more careful of what they're going to be attempting here.
Yeah, and this is where I also wonder if Cornballs is going to be a bit more discerning with what they're going for. I think you can see some patient play, but I think Waves understands you got to dial it up a little bit, make things harder to react to. Low, I don't think it's going to get that double. Waves will just keep things interesting. Reject, not an immediate read. Low comes back for more, and
be careful,
likewise be rejected. I don't think Waves understands how little boost Tut has, but I think he figured it out. Low 50 into another deflection to the back post. Waves, he's torn between his two loves, ball or boost. He's going to choose the latter, and yet still get away with it. Another long clear to reset.
The defense was actually played fantastically. Waves played so patient and was completely rewarded for it with the 50s that he was able to secure. Cut. It's gonna be a little bit dangerous, especially if Lotec's able to come from the side angle, and a good way to park the bus. 2-2 here in game one.
And two ways to get an assist. One off the pass, and then look in the bottom of the screen as the shot comes in. Low just barely gets that shot going, but Waves actually tags Tut on the way back, which has allowed him to be able to buy enough time for that shot to go on through. 2-2, Cornballs slowly mounting their comeback, and now into the 2-minute drill.
Good bump.
Goes Rejack off ceiling, immediately smacked away. 50 also going to be just slipped over to the far side for Low to hopefully deal with, but he doesn't get any contact. Luckily, Waves does.
I'm a little bit concerned with how Cornball's waiting for these 50s to come in. I mean, we saw Waves after even, I believe it was Rejack that got bumped out of the way. I mean, Waves properly waited a long time before he actually went for the touch, which other teams will just take advantage of that, especially if they're playing a really strong twos comp where they have like a very forward first man. They're able to get the demo early. Tut will carry this across. It's over his head. Low just manages to put it to the corner.
I'll say a lot of those types of plays are really hard to capitalize on at this level because you expect everyone to go for an aerial and hit the ball. So sometimes when there is a ball that's wide open in the middle, you just don't anticipate it. And you also don't anticipate someone just waiting for you. Waves just patiently understands that ball was going to get thrown away, but part of it is because Low was right on his tail. Rejack just not getting the power he's looking for.
I mean, was he in an angle to be able to carry out up the wall to go for a bit of a dribble?
I would say he's probably going to get smacked before he gets there. There was already someone chasing him, but the thing is, you got to be able to catch that or throw it to the sideline. You can't just chuck that down the middle, especially that low. Waves knew it, and that's why. Oh, as Tut's going to get one right back. This game, back and forth.
Straight up back and forth. Immediately, honestly, just well placed. Waves playing way too far forward. I think thought that Lowtech had a much better angle on that 50, but he gets immediately punished for his positioning. So 40 seconds remaining, an absolute banger of a game one. Back and forth, just properly dissecting each other out. Lowtech able to get the boost after Reject tries to demo him, and it will go further into the field of Cornballs. Waves taking their time with this one, but with 30 seconds remaining, this is anyone's game.
It's a boost steal too. I think he calmed it too. So it just solo play to the back post, except the post, the third defender, rejecting the potential game winner here. Now, it's Cornball's chance to try to get one. That's a delayed rotation. Low, 1v1, slow dribble, epically played though by Rejack. Excellent save. And now, maybe one more chance for Cornballs to mount something. And they're just gonna go deep and send a player with it. Deflection to the corner, Low. Maybe keeps that afloat, but no, the fake challenge from Retut throws everything out the window. Overtime, seeing who's taking the lead in our semifinal.
Like you mentioned, that was just perfect patience from Rejack here. We'll see if they can get away with it again. Tut able to get the 50 out. Lowtech actually just bounces off the ball in the best way possible because it puts him in a defensive position right away. The Waves go for the ceiling, actually, in this one. It's going to go off the corner. It's going to be a little bit awkward for Lowtech, but no one will be there to challenge. Tut given straight over to Waves as 30 seconds into this, I really, don't have a clue of who could take this. I really do think it's going to be whoever makes just a defensive mistake first, like potentially that, as Tut is loaded up on boost. This could be going all over the place. Rejack puts the shot on. Great save by Waves.
He was going backwards on it. He basically had to pre-jump and guess, and now Low can capitalize off the air dribble with the 50 going backwards. Tut, you're unreal.
Tut is huge. Dude goes to the gym. There's no way that Tut should have been able to get that block, but it was at the perfect angle. Rejack puts it off the side wall. Waves has to go back to collect. Even Rejack takes that 50 with no boost to speak of. And I think at this point, Cornballs has no idea what the boost level of Retut is at right now. They're just trying to play off feeling.
And Low is just going to be able to kind of gather himself and use all the remaining 0 of his boost to do something, and then go and hunt for a little bit more for next time. Rejack, likewise, limited boost, but still gets past 1. Gets a deflection, near side Waves, patient catch, and a dunk. That one's going to be a screamer right across the face of goal. Got to be careful. Low is waiting on the back post. He's not going to be able to capitalize. It's going to roll up and out. Not even Waves can read that one. Tut certainly can, and we're right back to mid.
Bit of a rare miss. Rejack's going to put the shot on. Lowtech is going to be kicking themselves for that one. The 50 goes through. Kind of an open lane if he's able to get over Rejack, but Tut chases it back. Waves, like the mid. Actually, he's just going to play this low. He's going to try and play for the aerial bump, and it completely befuddles the defense. Waves able to secure game one for Cornballs.
Yeah, there's always a moment on these air drills where you see the offensive player hesitate for a split second, and in that moment as a defender, you know you're cooked. If you do not have an angle, if you're not able to get around it in time, you are going to get bumped 100% of the time. Supremely well played by our squad in Cornballs, getting the dub, but man, they really had to fight for it. That was a crazy game one.
It was also really fun. Yeah, it was just like really fun all around. Sure, wasn't crazy mechs for the players, but it was just, you know, really just solid dissection, good rotations, and just good fundamentals that was being shown.
And I love games like that because it also does really come down to execution. It isn't just like throwing shots over and over and over again. In a way, that's a way to build pressure. But at this level, it's going to be very difficult to be able to mount like 3-4 shots in a row unless you're getting a bunch of demos and a bunch of boost steals. And it felt like in that game, everyone was countering well. They were padding well. It felt like there was always an availability. It was just about making sure, all right, when you get a chance, you got to hit it well. And if you're getting a slow play, you got to be absolutely flawless. So Waves understanding when he got that 1v1. Okay, last time Low Tech got saved because Tut pulled out a miracle. Let me just get rid of the defender and maybe let's not worry about that.
All right, so we're going to kick things off with game 2. Cornballs with a match lead. And we also are going to be starting, I believe, one of the other top 4 matches. So we can join that match as soon as this one's done if Cornballs wins 2-0. But not, then we'll just wait for the finals. So Cornballs wants to take this one quickly.
Yes, and making sure we will be able to see who they're playing against is one thing, but honestly, I don't even know who's going to be able to take this one. Both these teams definitely up there. We were talking about how this is a ridiculous semifinal to be able to witness, and game 1 definitely lived up to that billing. I think knowing that Cornballs got away with that victory, and I definitely want to say got away with it, as miracle saves being pulled off on both sides. I think it's interesting to see after the game, you get that minute to yourselves, just kind of talk through and figure out how they're going to approach, whether it's going to be more conservative or if they're going to be a bit more daring.
Well, I'm to play a bit further back. Oh, Waves. It juked, but Retut, it seems like they're even playing a little bit more passive than we're used to now. Reject still is very much jacked up. He's just ready to go, but Tut using a bit more of a passive approach, just going to punt it downfield and play more reactive based off Cornball's touch. Wave's going to carry it up himself, tries to play around Reject with a minute and a half gone. No one really having too much of an opportunity besides a brief scuffle in the boards, as some hockey fans might say.
Let's see if Low can get forward. He will get a demo, but I like the clear back, resets everything. Waves kind of overtouches on this one, but understands he's got time. And a deflection, and another cut as, I thought Tut might have launched that one. You can see Low immediately ricochet back, or half-left back, just in case it was a ricochet.
Waves might actually have an open opportunity because it just might be too much, but Tut able to get there in time. Lowtech wanting to put it down low. Reject will trade for some demos as well. Waves tries to put it on, but Retut just handling defense quite nicely. There's no sort of crazy pressure, but that miss will give Retut the first goal of this game.
And not every goal needs to be a highlight reel. Sometimes you just look up and realize, I got no boost. Low is trying to challenge me, but he's also not rotating back. Every once in a while, it might look like kind of too basic of a play when you're in Grand Champ or SSL, but you always got to test the defense. If they're creeping up too far, send a deep ball and test just how fast they can get back.
Okay, so into this one, Retut. Reject. Honestly, with how I think Retut are playing this, if they're just able to punish some of the defensive mistakes that Cornballs is going to make, like that one almost finds the mark, but the angle for the rebound doesn't work out in their favor. So Retut will try again. They're going to be hunting down for this insurance goal.
Low is going to want that one back, but that's fine because Waves actually still gets the carry, and it is just as clean as it is straightforward from Waves. Waits for that player to dive in off the backboard and then immediately just gets that extra tap.
I think surprisingly speedy, and I don't think that's why Retut was able to get a read on it, because it just came a lot quicker, especially from that second touch. No one expects how speedy it is going to be. 53 miles. Not the slowest shot in the world. Lowtech gets the bounce shot over a defender, but thankfully Reject is there, who has just been playing so solid for Retut this series.
Yeah, and being able to be a consistent player, game in and game out, even if you're not always kind of the superstar, high-scoring player, is really reliable because that means you always know kind of the floor that they're playing at. But of course, always helps that they are capable of peaking when they need to. Waves patiently waiting for Retut to panic, and he's got to pounce.
I love how Waves is playing as well. As like you mentioned, it's not high mechs, it's not crazy mechs, it's just good, solid fundamentals and really good game theory as well, just recognizing when someone is going to make a move and when someone isn't, and I think that was a perfect example of that.
Ooh, wait, hold on. That's a crazy deflection by Low, and Waves, I was going to say, unfortunately, had nothing in the tank, but he's got the positioning. He got further enough, and Retut, now we have gone from a situation that's, it's okay, we still have some time, to now it's a bit more dire as we're entering 100 seconds remaining.
With it, Cornballs want to run away with this one, move on to that final. It might be a great start if Waves can put it on, and he does! Solos it off the kickoff.
Not the kickoff goal. Be able to get this soft touch, sets up into a breezy, and then you see Rejack, low boost, rotating away, does not know how much power he's going to get. He guesses, and unfortunately, he will guess wrong. And this is part of why I say, like, you're never really going to be super out there when you just vote for the Low squad. He's got a way of finding his way into grand finals, and he's 90 seconds away from doing just that. Of course, Retut still has a chance, but clearly all the momentum kind of leaning toward our Corn boys.
I'm trying to think of a really bad pun, but I don't want to ruin the mood.
I was gonna say, I was trying to think of something earlier where I'm like, there is a cereal called Corn Pops, and I'm like, we're witnessing the corn pop off or whatever, but then I'm like,
oh, no.
people gonna know that reference or something.
I was thinking that Rejack got his lead jacked, which I thought was a bit clever.
Yeah, I can see that. It's just
it's
tough, some of these names. Yeah, no problem.
Yeah,
Rejack,
nice.
actually.
Rejack also wants it back.
I don't even know how that's saved. He had the perfect fake. He had the angle. He's right on the goal line with momentum, and wow, that's pretty cruel. I'm not gonna lie. Those are one of those moments where it's like, okay, just nothing is going in. We just have to accept that this is just Jover, as Waves is just playing with his food in the corner here. Oh my, he's single-handedly chasing down this ball. Just going left to right.
Absolute ego challenging right now and doesn't care at all. He's just like, all right, let's just wrap this one up, boys. Let's just go on to grand finals.
That's Psycho.
As we do. Tries to go for the corner. Psycho, unreal.
Yeah, this is exactly what you call flow state when you're watching a player play. Pure pop-off, Retut in panic mode, and they're going to make some mistakes. Doesn't much matter, though. That's just a freebie for Low, tucking that one home, and just rolling out the red carpet for Cornballs to enter into our grand final as our first grand finalist.
This feels like John Hamm meme, you know, the dancing in the club one. Yeah, except it's Waves. And he's just vibing right now. Either way, Rejack tries to get the corner read, doesn't get much, but last second will wind down. Cornballs well fought. Will be our #1 seed, lives up to that name, and we'll move on the final.
Applause.
.mp3.
But yes, Cornballs deservedly so, getting that grand finalist spot. And in game one, they had to fight tooth and nail, really go through a super tense overtime, and then it felt like all of really just like all of the energy from the yellow side was just kind of used up in game one, and then in game two, it just like they're like, well, at least we're both tired. They look across and nope, they're just ready to go. They're stretching. They're like, all right, let's get it. So it's gonna be tough. I mean, hey, these brackets, they're an endurance challenge. I've talked to plenty of players who've gone through 3-4 hours of replay and bracket, and by the end, they're just mentally dead. But you gotta get locked in, and you gotta be able to do that because you're gonna be getting a lot of chances at goal, and sometimes you just got to make sure they all count.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously we know that this was a Wave show all the way through. That being said, that was not, but I mean, this was easily a match that I think you look at Retut and how they were playing. They had plenty of opportunity to run away with it, but somehow the grit of Low-Tech and Waves was able to just survive and continue to push on. Cornballs just never really let too much of a lead get too out of control. Every single time they were able to bring it back just through nice fundamental play that forced Retut in these really awkward spots to have to deal with. Like even that one, Tut just had no boost and couldn't really manage any defensive play here, and a lot of the boost management was just really solid.
Yeah, and I think part of playing, if you really want to get abstract, sometimes just put the ball in dangerous positions, and you'll find a lot of times you can force the defense to make a mistake or get something awkward. Like you watch a lot of these goals, and they look a little bit more basic, but a lot of it's just the understanding from low and waves that, yeah, we might have the most boost, but let's just take an air dribble, keep it close to the goal. Let's just go for a breezy on a kickoff, and knowing that they have limited boost, they might just panic. But at least for right now, we will be able to see what goes on in the other semifinal. Crew Dogs and Water getting into it here to see who's going to be faced off against Corn Balls in our grand final, and who also is the second team to guarantee themselves prizing for today.
You're going to say Corn Puffs.
Yeah, I did, and I was trying everything in my power to be like, nope, don't do it. But hey, I was going to say, hey, don't do it if I'm on defense, but Light says, absolutely not. I am definitely taking this goal.
Yep, this was honestly just a really accurate shot. And Demoholic, I mean, we saw what they did to their previous match. Crew Dogs put the dog on them, metaphorically speaking. And now, looks like we do have a DC, which, going by our LCS rules, would usually mean that unless is it the spectator or is it the lobby?
Maybe it's all the above. There's truly no way to know, but at least for right now, yeah, we will try to get a quick connection. We'll see maybe our faces for a brief moment as we'll figure out what's going on with Water and Crew Dogs. But yes, obviously highly important gameplay. We got to make sure we get our winner in there because this is, as you mentioned, for the prizing. So this is where your palms start getting a little sweaty, especially with these players knowing each other. I mentioned a lot of these players play within these Navy MWR tournaments all the time. They queue with each other, and it's kind of like when you're playing ranked and you run into your friend, it's something like way more intense. You're like, I can't lose to my friend. Like, I can't lose to the guy that I know that it means so much more. So it's for personal pride, even more so sometimes than any of the gift cards or any of the prizes that Navy MWR has so generously given out.
Yeah, and if there is kind of any rule that we'll go off of here is that because I believe Light scored before the disconnect actually happened, that last goal should stand. We'll get an update on that as soon as we can. At the moment, I think they're just trying to rep the lobby. I'm either way excited. I mean, this is a match that I think was also going to be just as skilled as our previous one. And it's showing that top four, I mean, I think of the ones that we've done together, we haven't seen a top four this stacked yet.
No, normally it's probably like 2, maybe 3 teams that are like true competitors, and then a fourth that's like, I'm just happy to be here. Like this is a good experience, good play against these players. But no, we had basically 5 teams that fully consisted of players that I know have won or placed in these Navy MWR tournaments. So definitely blessed. If the tomorrow's tournament is anything similar, then it's a whole weekend of really high level talent within the military esports community. So love to see that, especially in Rocket League. And I think we're also seeing a different side of these players because I've commentated all these players in 3v3, but not in 2v2. And so it's really fun to watch the different styles that do come out and really who's going to be able to come out on top. I generally don't know on this one between Water and Crew Dogs.
I mean, 2s is kind of crazy for that because you get, such a different, I guess, variation of play styles, right? Because everyone plays 2s all the time. So arguably at times you get to see people play more in a flow state, right? Because you get to implement a bit more mechs. Now Laggy Puppy is going to try and put some shots on, but like I mentioned, Water will be able to keep that 1-0 lead.
And honestly, Water looked supremely, I would say, clutch within a lot of their matches. Thing is, they're playing against another caliber of player, a team that we have not seen in quite some time in Crew Dogs. Last time we were able to see them way back against Big Citrus, but then since then, not too much to say. But hey, Demoholic, making sure they count on this one. A little bit of giveaway leads to a goal.
I was a little bit confused as to why Crow didn't get that. I'm wondering if he maybe thought I was just going in or something of the sort, but that seemed like an easy put out way. Crow's going to try and go for the solo. Straight back to Lights, who was our previous scorer. Demoholic, no boost really to speak of, while both Crow and Lights are loaded. They're kind of fumbling over each other a little bit, though, in the offensive end. It doesn't bode well, but able to manage it and extend this pressure. They go either way, and now you see the demo chasing from Demoholic, very much playing to his namesake.
I think on that last play from Water, they had a good build-up, but it's also why comms are always told to be in the affirmative and also personal to yourself. You do not say, you got it. You say, I got it, and that's it. Because both players are like, you get after you, no, after you, no, after you, and then neither you got it. So definitely got to be decisive. Crew Dogs got away with that one, but maybe they can get something going, at least offensively. They are really struggling to escape their half as Crow is making sure it is repeatedly thrown right back at them.
Crow. Able to steal the boost in the midfield. Light's going to go for a controlling effort. Laggy Puppy, of course, straight to it. Yeah, nice methodical play. Light's in position, and Crow tries to go for the solo with the flip reset, but doesn't get anything out of it. Gonna be able to steal some boosts, though. If Light's can keep it in the offensive end, that means Crow can come in from the wing, able to put it on, but it's just a touch wide.
Demaholic not able to get that flick off. He's taking a bit too much time, which means Lights, he's going to chase this one down. Pinch the ceiling. Crow,
Catch.
heavy cut. I like the idea there. I think Demaholic maybe thought he was going to steal the boost. I think that was maybe the intent, but Demaholic caught up to the game quicker than maybe his opponent imagined.
Like it, Puppy. Soft touch over the corner. Possession away, but at least you're in an advantageous position. Now you can see some of the bumping coming out from Water. Crow repositions for a better angle, but defender is there. Extended pressure, though, for Water. That is surprisingly dangerous. Straight into the hands of Lights, who has a good amount of boost. See what they put in. That's going to be put low. Crow tries to put it on again, but Laggy Puppy is there again.
Demaholic going to have to play the slow play and then maybe wait for the response. Lights actually going to get the boop on top of that. That's going to waterfall straight down. Rushing back is Laggy Puppy, and if Lights had more boost, it could have been a crazy self-setup. But how about the teammate setup? Pass middle, double tap, Crow. Trying to play for possession, no boost to steal, so kind of an awkward game of kind of boost economy at this point as much as anything else.
Who would have thought Water likes waterfalls?
Don't go chase them, though.
What?
What? that was a song reference, anyway. We're just going to go with that as Crow's going to take one from distance. And, of course, that one is just not going to sneak past. You got to wake up pretty early to sneak one past these defenses.
Well, it is early in some places. Now Crow able to get this one out while Lights collect some boost. Laggy Puppy is going to go for the flip reset, but honestly, the double commit, actually, this could work out, especially if Lemon Puppy goes for some demos, which he did, but it was just a touch too late at the time Demaholic got there.
Yeah, I would say Crudo's got to be a little bit careful. Those are examples of plans that you kind of rope your teammate into instead of being on the same page. You just decide, hey, I'm going to go demo, and the other guy's like, wait, what? And he's too far away to actually capitalize. So
that's my favorite
could
thing
have been
to
a
do.
counterattack.
Oh, because then if you mess up
self-inflicted.
and they score on you, you can say it's their fault because you didn't follow the plan. Light's going to try and go for the solo, but Laggy Puppy able to patiently get the read. It's just solid, again, solid play all around. Nothing is being left too wide open. I would like to see a bit more control from both these players, or both these teams, as far as the boost is concerned.
Or at the very least, make sure they're getting their clean first touch. Demaholic, he gets that catch, but already at 50 boost, so it's more or less just a giveaway. Lights knows it, so does Crow. He's going for a bump. I think he changed his mind halfway through, but that means he gets neither of either option that he has. Ball just kind of delicately goes to the corner, and immediately it's sent back to mid. Crow, deflection, ceiling, final seconds, rushing in, and going to get a fat whiff. Crow's going to be left alone. High lob, and still gets bumped up into it.
Oh.
You are the luckiest man alive.
It's still bad, though. It's still bad, and there's no boost to speak of. 0 seconds. Laggy Puppy wins the game for Crew Dogs.
Game is not over until the ball hits the ground. Laggy Puppy with 20 boost. Crow's going to give him a nice one. He knew he got away with one, just desperately getting bumped into a deflection. But even then, play was not over. Look at the persistence coming through. Love to see it. And also so well-deserved by Water.
Oh, that was really well played. Again, like you mentioned, game's not over until the ball touches the ground. And there was a bit of an instance where I'm like, okay, Crow, what are you doing? There's a bit of some reckless play at times, and then eventually you get punished for it. And especially against, if it is Lemon Puppy, he has all the experience for that.
Yes, and being able to also feather the boost. I've seen way too many times players are in the mindset of like, it's falling and it's like just barely dropping at the crossbar. I gotta rush this, and then they pinch it off the crossbar and then it flies out, or it crossbars down and the game's over. So knowing that he had only 20 boosts and knowing he had to jump at the exact right time, but also making sure he didn't, completely screw it up, it's harder than it looks. A lot of players make that mistake. So going into game number 2 of our other semifinal number 2 to see who goes on, faces Cornballs in the grand final. Water has a bit to dig out here from the Crew Dog side as they stole that last game away, but honestly, just as close I'm anticipating this game to be as game number 1.
I mean, yeah, it could very much well be that way, especially with how much more aggressive you can tell Water is coming out with this one. Light's going to put this one low. Water takes the early lead.
And do like this one as well with the tiny little collaboration here. Crow is not trying to necessarily score. In fact, I like how he actually hits it extra hard off the near post because he knows everyone's gravitating toward the middle. So anything you hit that's slightly off center and making sure it's not directly on target means everyone's going to dive in on the first change and get pretty much just left out to dry on the follow through.
You say gravitating when the goal explosion was a bunch of planets.
Sure. I mean, I wish I was that quick on it, but no, I was just saying that. They got that gravity because they're just going to slowly sink in. Crow barely gets a save. I don't know if he gets the second one. And indeed, he's not Demoholic. Again, harder than it might look. Sometimes it's so tempting to slap that one near post, but oftentimes that one's going to get saved away. He just delicately puts that one as far to the left as he can.
I'm really kind of used the maximum amount of delay on the jump as well to be able to just put that far left. Really, a lot of patience and a lot of awareness of where your opponent is positioning themselves at for the save. This one could be a bump play. Looks like it will be Aerial Bump Classic.
Crow. And again, just kind of basic play. Just tap it forward and then just smack him out of the way. And a lot of players you get in that situation, you're like, well, I can maybe flick it or maybe I can hit off the backboard. But you're like, it's only one player and he's standing still because he's waiting for your play. Just smack him out of the way. It's just that simple. You do not have to overcomplicate things. Sometimes the best way to the goal is straight through.
Single, double, but doesn't get much. Like Puppy though. The demo in return. Lights will get the respawn. Perfect timing as well, but not a great first touch from Puppy. And try and play off it though. Go for the catch instead, but Lights calls him out.
That's not the best deflection because that's going to be right in the path of Crow, who almost snipes that back corner, but not going to actually find its way through because there is coverage and a lot of boost steal. Demoholic just slurping all of that up. And unfortunately, he's not able to actually use it because this is a twos game, and the other teammate needs something in their tank as well. Lights has nothing. He's going to get that first save. How about a pass or solo play? Double tap, still up for grabs. Laggy Puppy going to have to back up instead.
Demo able to collect the boost in the midfields, which will keep Lights with absolutely nothing, but I don't think they know that. It's going to give a chance for Crow to go back and collect some boost, but he has nothing either. Hello? A little bit dangerous. I think you guys are trying to just, I don't know, get a read on how Water's going to be offensively rotating, but I think you're playing a little bit too passive for this. Now Demo trying to play the 50, look for a pass over to his teammate, maybe even a solo off of it, but again, just not too much not too much aggressiveness coming out from Crew Dogs. They're really waiting for their chance.
Yeah, it can be tough, especially when you are looking at how Crew Dogs is trying to approach this, because they understand that they are getting some saves, but ultimately they're not really getting a lot of offensive potency. The biggest thing is they have absolutely no ability to follow the play. I think Water's content with being able to get their first couple shots and then maybe get a rebound, steal some boost, and wrap around. But it seems like Demoholic and Laggy Puppy are a little bit off center from each other. So when the one shot comes in, they kind of just immediately back up. And I just don't know if you're really going to be getting enough counterattacks to make that type of playstyle count in a game this close.
And at the moment, it just feels like Water has a bit more control of how they want to play. I mean, you could tell even just after they're done setting up, they are controlling the ball a lot more. They're trying to go for more plays out of the midfield rather than just playing off of punts. Lights go for another shot there. Both miss. It's going to be a rebound, and Crow makes it 3-1.
Tick-tock. This is where the clock really starts to get even louder in your ears as you see one shot come through, and you know one of you got to touch it, but if neither of you do, then that's going to be a goal 100% of the time in a lobby like this. Water getting a 2-goal cushion in the final 2 minutes of game number 2, trying to take it to our first on-broadcast game 3 as well, if scoreline continues in this fashion. So excellent response by Water after a heartbreaker of a game 1.
I think with how much they want this one back, and they really kind of are fighting for the back. You can see the adaptations that they're making in real time and not really exposing themselves to awkward defensive spots like this. That being said, there is a good example, but Laggy Puppy is just out of position to make it work. Now it will go all the way across, but just a touch wide. Crow over to Demoholic, who played so well in the previous series that they had. Yes, it was a smash, but he played so solid. Laggy Puppy is just finding himself a bit out of position here.
Laggy Puppy actually has to back away from that one, and there was a little bit of a latency between Demoholic catching on to the plan. Because of that, They're a little bit at odds right here. Still trying to regain. Good catch. Immediate 50. Right over the top. Lights going to be met by Demoholic. Laggy Puppy with minimal boost is going to have enough to maybe get a delayed flick. Demoholic, a little bit of a panic. How quickly can you turn on this one? How
50.
fast can you get that past? Not fast enough. Lights, good save and clear.
Yeah, I mean, even the fact that Water was able to react to that really awkward situation that could have gone very dangerously and still get the save and not panic too hard is showing the composure the Water have right now. This one may be done and dusted unless Crew Dogs are able to score right now, but doesn't look like that's going to be the case. So, like you mentioned, we may just have our first Game 3 on our hands. What a way to wrap that up.
Yeah, and being able to then answer back something all the best teams will be able to do, and doing it in style, minimal boost, but he's got the lineup perfect. Double tap on in, 3-goal cushion, and now Crew Dogs really got to lean back in their chairs in this minute between the games and really just have to game plan like, man, okay, we got away with game 1, but this one really got out of our hands quick.
So the last few seconds winding down, Water fought hard after the game they felt they should have earned in game 1. And we'll force this to a game 3. Now I'm just excited to see where it goes. Who is going to face Cornballs in the final?
Especially with moments like that, very much feeling like, okay, we lost game number 1, and I took that personally. And immediately goes to the next game, and just making sure they're playing shutdown defense, getting good shots off, not making sure they're overcommitting on everything. And that's what I like about Water is that they have that cohesion with each other, and it doesn't ever feel like they're trying to rush any play. They're really just trying to wait for their opportunity, and when it does come up, more often than not, they're taking advantage. I think that's definitely something that we are seeing from Crew Dogs that they are needing to pick up on, because I still feel like that inconsistency and that teamwork is really what's starting to drag them down.
Yeah, exactly. And there are times where you can tell they're feeling really on, and some player is on, like Demoholic is on, or Laggy Puppy is on. And then there's other times where it's just they can't really get off the ground. And I think especially coming into this game 3, all bets are off. You want to be able to both activate at the same time and have really strong communications. Especially, I mean, the 50 game has just been atrocious in game 2, and it looks to be continuing.
Yeah, sometimes the 50 game is something everyone just kind of subverts their expectations on, because they're saying, well, you want to make sure you're lined up well, and you want to make sure you're taking a touch that doesn't go anywhere too dangerous. But other times players just say like, you know what, let me just try to hit it around them. Let's just play for the beat. But the thing is, you fundamentally need to take 50s at some point. You can't always just play for hitting it around them, because the angles are too good. Players are going to be very good at being able to time when they approach certain reads. So I agree that if the 50 game isn't working out, that's usually a recipe for failure in pretty much any Rocket League game mode competitively.
So, into game 3 now, our first of the day. For our grand finals match, it's going to be Lights putting it up high. Laggy Puppy will be there off the back wall, despite Lights' best effort to take him out of the equation. Crow, not the best touch for a flip reset. Laggy Puppy, very well played, just chases this one down.
We actually saw a goal actually go in our previous series exactly like this. I think, honestly, Lights coming back, he was expecting the bump, so right as he went, he was like, wait, why is Laggy Puppy still on the ball? He just kind of took that stiff arm, shoved him out of the way, and then just put that one to the far post. Nice finish through adversity from Laggy Puppy.
Now, Crew Dogs saying that we want this series. We are not out of it yet. That game 2 was our reset, but Crow immediately punishing off of the return.
Sometimes a backward challenge is one thing, but Demoholic gets bumped and he cannot recover. Crow, that was just ridiculous timing. He got that bump on the last defender as that flip came in. I mean, you could not draw it up worse of an outcome in terms of timing for Crew Dogs.
See, now only a few minutes in this series remaining. I think Crew Dogs are actually starting to play a little bit better, but yeah, it's just an unfortunate occasion that kind of let that one go. Good defensive touch from Laggy Puppy. Alrighty, look at the positioning from Water. They're so ready to just pounce on whatever opportunity in the midfield shows itself.
Yeah, and a lot of game sense at this level is keeping in fact a lot of different considerations in the back of your mind simultaneously. And I think on that last one, they realized, wait, I don't see the second guy. Where is he? In fact, where's the first guy? There's nobody back as that first clear comes through, and that's all they need.
I actually love that idea from Laggy Puppy.
He got bumped into the aerial. I've never seen that before. I was wondering, like, how did he get up so fast to that? But no, he took a 50. It got slapped that fast. Okay, well, insta counter.
Bro got rocketed into space, just like full explosion.
I mean, that's what happens. I mean, I don't think any of these players are in Space Force, but that'd be a nice little themed.
Oh well, I mean,
aspect of
Laggy
your-
Puppy has U.S. Air Force. It's close enough.
I mean, I guess. It's
Like,
not I mean,
literally.
he's not really in the level of the stratosphere that I would like to make that assumption. So.
Okay, actually, whatever. Now, Crew Dogs, again, just occasions that are a bit unfortunate. Again, I really liked the idea that Laggy Puppy had when he was going for the solo. It just he didn't get the catch in time, which kind of ruined the entire plan. He will get demoed for his efforts. Crow, very willing to get a bit more physical in this game. Half a game gone by now, and with it, Water have been playing a strong game, and Crew Dogs really been throwing everything plus the kitchen sink to see what works.
Yeah, especially I do like Demoholic trying to keep things close on that one. The bump timing, 50 timing from Crow was really good on this one. And I think that's one thing that from Water I've been trying to take note of is how often when they're diving at a play, are they just kind of diving to get on reads, or are they actually waiting for the ideal time? Because even on stuff like that, they're playing for the 50. They're not going for that double. They know that they don't have a chance at it. So they're just trying to see how much Crew Dogs are really paying attention.
Careful now. No boost really to speak of. But a good shot put on. I like the pass, but not really given it to Demoholic just backs off.
I think again you're still playing from behind. I mean, the worst thing you can do in a game this close is to assume like we got to panic. Like you got 90 seconds. It's only a 1-goal margin. It's not like you have to go for broke. So I kind of understand that, but yes, there is a certain element where if you're playing too passive, how many chances are you just kind of leaving on the table?
I mean, we've seen in the past where it's just being able to track in the opposing zone has just kind of worked out pretty well for Crew Dogs. And it's forced Water in some pretty tough scenarios. Laggy Puppy's just going to put this one very spicy as well. The rebound will come through. We have a tie game.
Very well done by Laggy Puppy. Very tempting to take a touch here or go for something a bit more ordinary, but no, instead leans into it, so he gets maximal power. Honestly, it deserved a slot, but luckily Demoholic understood just in case. Let's go forward, because this has to be a high percentage chance that this is going to go on in. And bang, bang, we got our tie. And we'll have to see how this is going to work out, especially when you lose out boost. Lights, he's got all of it. Air dribble as well, and luckily, second defender will be able to knock that to the corner.
Puppy is a bit dangerous now. Lights doesn't have enough boost to be able to get any flip around it, but Crow backing it all the way back. No boost to speak of. Finally, Demoholic's able to get a full pad. Trying to avoid Crow, who's just sitting there bullying him the entire time. Can he get around it in time? No, he won't be able to, but he'll steal the pad for good measure. Demoholic not able to get anything off of that flick. Lights is all in his hands. The last 30 seconds could determine who will win this series. Are we going to go to another overtime?
Ooh, he's got minimal boost. He might get one more touch or maybe the 50. And Crow just said, I'm going to take a risk that it's going to deflect to the corner, not try to clear any other way. High lob. Lights has just enough to get to it, and he lobs it over in the final seconds. Oh, a disaster in the backfield.
That's so unfortunate. And Demo didn't even collect the boost for good measure. I don't understand. Why not just... Was he assuming that it was going to be a pass, or maybe just wanted to go for the early challenge?
A lot of players get into a rhythm and freak out and think they have to get on the read, and they don't really take into account that sometimes you can just shadow the play. But now you got to carry it, and he can't even do that.
That's
so focused on that corner boost that is going to be the way the cookie crumbles. What a play from Water to be able to clutch it out, but unfortunately, that is all she wrote. We do have our second grand finalist.
And wow, what a way, like a solid series to be able to accomplish. That was very well thought all the way through. A really close game one, and whatever game two, and then game three was just a back and forth all the way.
Yeah, looking at games like that, I mean, it's so tough. And yes, I don't want to like focus clearly just on that Demoholic play at the end. But as we look at these replays, I mean, everyone had their moments and everyone had their, not to say lowlights, but moments where maybe you just weren't as bright as Lights. He was pretty much the player that was constantly in the mix. But, you know, you did have those glorious moments like that clutch goal to end game one.
So with that, our second final, just some really solid goals all the way around here. Like great passing. Lights putting this one low was very much solid all the way through. Never really just a misstep. And even in this case, I mean, that was some brief like mistouches from the Crow's side, but otherwise, just really good, really solid all the way through. Now, with the finals approaching, we will have Brew Dogs. Sorry. Oh my God. I'm actually completely forgetting. It was
no, it is going to be water and cornballs.
Excuse me,
We're rocking
cornballs and water. My bad.
in that
My
grand
fault.
final.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's
and because
so many like C names right now. I'm actually getting befuddled. Water and cornballs. Cornballs has been in the waiting. The #1 seed has been solid throughout the course of this bracket. To I think some people's surprise as well. I mean, I understand Low Tech has been winning a bunch, but this was the 1 week, Taco, that I thought, okay, we have really just solid SSL teams all the way through this top 4. Finally, we'll get a challenge, but it looks as though the finals is inevitable for them.
Yes, indeed. And that means we have one more best of 3 to get through to be able to see who's actually able to take home the first place prize. Of course, both these teams have guaranteed themselves some semblance of prizing, but it's either going to be Crow and Lights or it's going to be Waves and Low Tech, the man that has been farming Navy MWR events in the past month. Let's see if it can continue that streak.
Now, a lot on the line as well, just a lot of pride. Also, again, you mentioned every single time you have to have a new teammate. And if he's able to do this with another teammate, essentially, for how many times in a row now, it will be an incredible achievement. This one's all over the place. Low Tech tries to put it on. Crow is able to get a hand up just at the last second. Going to try and go for the transition. A defense is rushing to stop it in the midfield.
Yes, and they got away with a save. But the thing is, the good thing about cornballs is that they never really are truly out of an attack. They're more than willing to go back. They'll let you get your boost, but they know when to challenge. And as I mentioned, Waves with the one's experience, always ready up to take that 50. And Low Tech is there to strike up until he loses that challenge. That's a wide open net for Lights. He will say thank you very much.
Just perfectly off the 50. Again, water coming in so warm. No pun intended. Coming into this one, very warm off of the previous series. Lights just continuing the roll from last one.
Yeah, I mean, water coming into this game, as you mentioned, yes, they are warm, but of course, cornballs, I'm sure, in custom
But are they
training, in
boiling?
training, in ranked, I don't really know, but they're going to have to be able to cool down a little bit if you're cornballs, because I don't think it's really mixing it too well right now. Crow taking advantage of that first beat, and then Waves still can't get back, maybe deflection, but either way, a goal is a goal.
I mean, it is cornballs suffering from success a little bit. They are coming into this colder. Water just coming off a pretty tight series, especially a game 3. It will take a bit for cornballs to measure up, but we've seen them be able to come back from previous games before as Waves tries to go for the bump attempt, but it doesn't really net much.
Waves using the empty jump and realized very quickly he would not be able to get that past the defender, so the steal into the counter, immediately countered right back as Low will get more person than ball, and another deflection means another potential breakaway. As Crow is just going to delicately tap that one, keep it close in. Immediate flick, past one, and a bump, and a second bump, but he's just not that lucky.
Nope, not at all. But before we get into the rest of this as well, remember that for Navy MWR, you can promote your brand to over 1.5 million loyal military consumers, making an impact on the lives of military families. 100% of the proceeds support the Navy's Morale, Welfare, Recreation Department, like you're seeing right now. It allows people to really, ball out, play some Rocket League, and just enjoy friendly competition, enhancing programs and support for the military community. For more information on reaching the military market, visit navymwr.org/sponsorship.
And if you want to be someone who sponsors cornballs or water, then just hit up their DMs, I think, because they certainly deserve it within the Navy MWR system. I don't know if Navy MWR or if USAA would allow that, but that'd be kind of funny if you just randomly
idea
were
if that
like,
creates any conflict,
"Hey,
but-
Low and Waves, sponsored by Frito-Lay." they're just rocking a generic brand name sponsorship.
We need a Cheetos sponsored Rocket League team, for real.
Honestly, that would go so hard. I'd be super down. I'd buy legitimately all of the merch. I wouldn't.
I
care.
think
I'd
the
be such a
closest
shill.
we got was when we got to work the Talkie show.
That is true. That was an unhinged show.
That was great.
Not a fan of those chips though, but I appreciate the brand.
I'm hungry. Oh, off the crossbar!
I'm hungry for some offense, Cornballs. It's so close, and yet it's still just not going through. Water being able to coast on those 2 goals they got right now, and even when it gets right up to the precipice of the goal, Cornballs are just like a pixel away from making it actually count.
Cornballs is so ready to score,
Oh, no!
but they just continue to get punished.
Sob, as Crow is just playing for the beat here, and also playing it intelligently. Gets a 1-touch over, takes a glance downfield, sees Lowe is taking way too much time because Lowe is playing for the read. He's not playing for Crow to get a wave dash, immediately dive at the ball, and just play for the touch. And the fake kickoff, you got to be on the same page. I might just want to GG go next at this point.
Kind of, especially for a grand final. It is a best of 3. You don't have too much time. You know what I just realized as well, Rocco? Is that
What?
Crow's name is spelled exactly like Russell Crowe's last name. So technically, you have Maximus Decimus Meridius in this final, pulling out Gladiator in this final.
Well, I'm certainly
playing
entertained, so he
like
does
a
not
god.
need to ask. I am more than entertained by this grand final, especially if we can get something a little bit more narrow from the Cornball side, because as a reminder, yes, it's still best of 3 in our grand final. Right now, Water is looking like they're the heir apparent. This is pretty rare. As I mentioned, Lowe has only first place finishes in Navy MWR events so far in this Winter Esports event of Navy MWR and USAA's making. So the fact that he could even contemplate being second place is wild.
Well, Lowtech has shown plenty of clutch before. It's not
Ooh, nice
done
pass.
yet. Lowe's going to be able to put this one wide, but still, it goes off the corner. You can't buy a goal for this team.
God, that was so well played by Waves. He taps it and then immediately hits the break because he knows it's going to come right back to the corner, dishes it middle. And with that said, yes, Lowe did have to slot that one. He absolutely had to put that to the back post to prevent it being saved. But sometimes you try to place it so well, you can't even force a save, or it goes a little wide. And then you just have to huff and puff and realize that that was probably your last chance. It certainly is now, as the final 10 seconds in game 1 of our grand final are ticking down. Nothing for the road, but they've scored more than enough. Water with a statement.
Beautifully done from Water. Just a complete shutdown of the Cornballs, which still feels crazy to say, but what a fantastic opening to this best of 3.
Yeah, and the rough part as well is that, again, as you mentioned, it's a best of 3. So this is not like, oh, it's okay, that's a warm-up game. No, like, you have to lock in immediately. And I guess reverse sweep, but in best of 3, it doesn't even feel right to say best of 3. You're just winning 2 straight. But regardless, that is what it is, functional. You have to win the next 2 to be
Gentleman's
able to
sweep.
guarantee that first place. And the worst part is it's not even like a loss that was really like, we made like one mistake. It was like multiple things that just you're like, I really wish I had that one back. Like, that is not my best work. Really wish we could have done that again. So that's, I think, part of the tilt factor. You have to immediately wipe that from your brain like you're a goldfish in a bowl and just say, okay, game 2 is the new game 1. Let's just take it one game at a time.
Well, that's the positive parts about when you kind of are getting blown out in a game. It is very easy to just be like, you know what, that was just an off one, right? So you can just go into the next one and be able to play a little bit closer. I mean, we even saw that in our previous 15-0 match. It was a lot closer in the next match, right? That being said, for Low-Tech and Cornballs, it is going to be a harder comeback, mainly because Water is coming to this warm. They're playing extremely well, and they really didn't show. I mean, they had a few opportunities on the offensive side. It was just the targeting that wasn't there, which, to be honest, it's placement is one of the easier things you can fix. Systemics is the harder one.
And being able to get your clean touches is one thing, but yeah, you've been playing for long enough. It is not an issue of being warm at this point. You can go in free play, you can go concentrating, but you can't overestimate those shots. Barely a save by Lowe, as he understood that one very well could have been in if he allows that much space for his opponents to shoot into. Dangerous play, but the pre-flip save takes back to the corner.
Oh, it could be grand final point here for Water. They're able to collect this one. Meanwhile, Cornballs specifically wanting to get the run back and showcase why they're one of the most winningest teams in this tournament. Low-Tech able to give Cornballs the lead.
Love this from Lowtech is he's got a lot of boost, but he understands he doesn't have the angle to flick. So instead, he pivots immediately to the clear. And unfortunately, Crow, you're caught in between a rock and a hard place. You don't know if Low's going to dive in for 50, so you have to play for the immediate hit to the sideline. And you know there's a potential to dunk it, but you got to make a split-second decision. Sometimes you do guess wrong. And other times, you get to make up for it. Pass middle, and he's not able to connect. He's the closest to it, though, so possession still in his favor. Double tap, back post, Waves, no chance with the jump-up deflection.
At all. Lights. Facing this one down, but no boost to speak of. Bro. Oh, potentially could be super nice here. Lights gets bumped to it, but he's not going to have enough boost to be able to play a 50.
Bump.
And the bump on Crow, this could be dangerous, especially if Waves is able to get a pass off over to Lowtech. Lowtech even steals the defensive boost for good measure. So now Crow is super broke. Only Lights has the boost to be able to deal with anything.
And that was perfectly played by Cornballs. Unfortunately, they had the worst possible bounce. In fact, it didn't bounce. It rolled flawlessly right up the wall. And then even worse is that they're lingering in the midfield. No boost in an insta counter.
And the circumstances is all in Cornball's favor. They worked so hard to make sure that water was broke in the defensive half, that they were getting bumps that they needed, but still, everything went wrong. And now we have a tie game.
It's also why sometimes on defense, a kind of clever way to clear it is exactly what Water did. They're above the ball, so they spike it as hard as possible, and it causes that brief moment for the offense, like, wait, hold on, that was not what I expected. And in that, you could see Waves kind of panic. He was not positioned, and now had to half flip and get scored on. And with a demo, everything is a well-laid plan until it hits the fan, and you have to restart. Seems like Cornballs has a good build-up, but Water just, I guess, is like Water. They'll find a way to score them on out of it.
I just feel like this is one of those occasions where Cornballs, like, they could learn a lot by slowing things down. You had a demo man in position. You got the defender out of position. You just need to be able to just bring things down, but you are able to walk away with a bit of a gimme in this one to get your lead back.
Yeah, it's a tough situation. Honestly, just not good momentum sharing on that one. You see one player who is not back yet, 0 boost. You have another player who's trying to take a hard angle 50, and sometimes you just have to accept, all right, let's just shadow play, buy time for my teammate to get back, and you can see him kind of diving at that play. He's like, well, I can't get back in time, and I also have no boost, so I guess I'll just dive it and hope I get a deflection.
Oh, punish again?
Hope that works out, but it didn't, and neither will this. Waves, basically right off the kickoff, gets another.
Okay, now Water kind of have to start sweating a little bit because you have half a game, 2 goals to get, and also this is the second time where you've just been punished in transition where it's just been an open net.
It's just, especially with goals like that, I think Cornballs also understands that in a game like this, with as good of defense, especially on the goal line that Water's been playing, you got to take all your shots. And so Waves, I think, is being acutely aware of any time there is that gap in the backfield. Like, yeah, let's not overcomplicate things. Let's not always dribble. Let's not always take a 50. If there's an opening, let's just smack it downfield, see what happens. That's what happens with one goal, and
exactly
right after again.
It's just making sure you don't overcomplicate. But that being said, if Lights is able to put it on, but I mean, I think Cornballs, they've been guilty of that. They've been trying to overcomplicate a lot. They've been trying to go for these demo and passing attempts that just haven't been working. So it's like, you know what, let's just play good fundamentals and just focus on punishing rather than just overcomplicating.
Ooh, the delayed flick. Wave's going to be in an awkward situation. Delayed flip, and yet Crow fakes him out, picks his corner. Expertly done, but look at the setup by Lights.
Yeah. Great patience as well from Crow. It would have been so easy for any other player just to completely punt this away and straight into the defender. Now the lead has been reduced to 1. Water are on the train back. This could be a dangerous kickoff, especially with Lowtech having no boost, but Lights actually pulls off. Now Crow, it goes straight into his hands, and we have a tie game.
I love this idea from Waves in concept. The thing is that has to go upfield, and I think he got a little scared of getting dunked, so he went a little bit more to the middle, but that's got to have height on it. Otherwise, that is basically a handoff.
To a tie game in our grand final. Water have come back. The minute 50, and Waves able to punish off the kickoff. We're not done yet.
And, I mean, we talk about pendulum swing. This thing is flying around wildly. It's like it's caught in a tropical storm right here because this has had so many lead changes. We've had Cornballs build up. We have Water march right back. But then, again, these kickoffs, it's a second one for Cornballs. You might just say, oh, it's a kickoff goal. But, hey, kickoffs are set pieces. They are scoring opportunities if you set them up right.
Oh, with a 4-3 scoreline. We've seen Cornballs, I mean, like, the past 3 goals have just been punishes or kickoff goals. The Lights playing it slow. Crow's coming in behind. Actually, a decent opportunity. Waves needs to get there. Plays it patient, able to get a good 50, which forces it away.
Really love that from Crow. No boost, but he understands Waves is probably going to get a short catch, and if so, he'll take a dunk, buys time, and allows his teammate to do something, I was going to say kind of like that, but he slowed down. No double tap or anything of the sort. Backing up.
So
Now a little bit 1v2. The bump play low. Casual stroll down Main Street.
Again, the bump play comes through. Cornballs getting physical as they have been, but Waves just so head smart.
And that's the situation where you always have to be wary of. If you go forward and get too aggressive, the moment someone 50s it right past you and maintains possession, that turns it into a 2v1. And I would say you don't want to play any team when there's a guy chasing you down and escorting a play, especially as it's rolling down the center. 2-goal lead. Now, I wouldn't say insurmountable, especially if Pro is able to get this pinch as Waves was backing up, but chose the right time to challenge and now get a skim near post. Not quite in. Low surprisingly goes for it and gets at least enough of a piece.
It's going to be a delay on the rotate back. Lights has no boost to speak of, but if he can beat out Low, it could be dangerous. He won't. Wave's going to send it over. Crow's in a completely awkward spot, able to get the save. 30 seconds left. Not impossible, but Crow will need to score just about here. Lights follows up. It's going to be a bit short. Still, the defensive touch comes through. I smell a game 3 coming in our grand final, unless this one goes through. It won't. It's just barely rolling. 18 seconds. 1 goal needed.
Well, that's all it takes to keep it close. This shot, not even the best, but Low over flips on it and Lights gets the craziest deflection going on through, and in a game that is ultimately seemingly decided by kickoff goals. We'll see, maybe can it turn the tide for Water? That's a good start. Crow delay flick, and he takes too long.
This is actually so very tense right now. That's actually a terrible touch. If Low doesn't get a better one, no, this completely beats out the rotation. Low-Tech somehow clutches it out, and we will be going to a game 3 for our grand final.
This is what I love to see. I mentioned Low. I mean, he's so impressive in all of these tournaments. Waves has been a stellar teammate, but game 1 just did not seem like usual. I did not like how they were playing, especially when it's a multi-goal margin in the loss. This one, technically also multi-goal, but going in the right direction for the drama. Cornballs tying things up, taking it the distance, and in a bracket this stacked, really the most stacked scene, Seb, between us in these Navy MWR events. Only deserved that it should go this far with this caliber of roster.
It just, like, if Low-Tech were to win again, I'm just like, what do we need to do? You know, he needs a nerf.
Nerf this
He needs
man.
a nerf.
Devs,
Like,
wake up.
It is absurd.
What are we doing? Yeah. I mean, that also just shows, like, he is a very good player. He's always been a very good player. But the fact that he has to do it, as a reminder, Chad, with a different player each time. If he wins in a weekend, he has to be able to go to someone else. And so the fact that he went back-to-back earlier, and now he's going into potentially a 3rd straight Navy MWR win. Looking back, he might even have a longer streak than that. He's been playing at these for a very long time, but I don't have those records on hand. Regardless, yes, very good win. If I'm Water, I am not happy with that one, especially because you look back, you say, yeah, the kickoff goals. But hey, you almost had a chance of your own. In fact, we're going to start off game 3 with a freebie.
A kickoff goal to kick things off here for the game 3 of our grand final. You can't ask for much more if you are Water. Now, it's about keeping it against a cornball team that has continuously gotten more and more aggressive. They're starting to get into the position where they can outplay you a bit.
Yeah, that's really a trick, isn't it? You're just trying to make sure, yeah, you get 1 goal, but you're never really going to see a 2v2 game at this level that's going to end in a 1 goal unless your shooting is abysmal, and that has not been the case in these matchups. A lot of demos, a lot of passing plays, and ultimately a lot of boost steals. Every aspect of the game has to be on point in a grand final, and
Agreed.
Also with all this personal pride on the line. You might have been seeing all the clan tags from these players. They're all in one for some of them with BZ and also the other branches, so certainly a lot of playstyles known. Definitely a lot of tape being watched as Waves try to go for an uncontested double, but kind of overheated on their setup.
Lights gonna go for the flick over, tries to get over Low, and he actually sort of does. Waves put in an awkward spot. Low-Tech tries to get the redirect to put it down over into the opposing half. Crow, no boost to speak of, but at least be able to get the carry across. Now this is where I get a bit scared. Low-Tech, lots of boost, sees his teammate, but a great challenge from Lights to completely defuse that situation.
Waves just going to send that one on target. Lights should be able to catch this one, but Waves will take some boost. Immediate turn. I like that deflection, especially
Water
because
like
I don't
this.
think Lights has
So
that, but
awkward.
Waves might. He's going to overcook it. Low, top shelf. That's going to be a miss.
What?
Not quite a breakaway. He lands on the defender, and Waves will also not be able to get that one through. Demo just to give him enough time, but that is 3 excellent opportunities that all go begging.
We talk about overcooked. I think that's a perfect example of it. There was just so much involved with how Cornballs wanted for that play to essentially execute, and it all fell apart because there was just too many pieces to worry about. Waves tries to get over one defender. Light's going to shadow this one back. Low-Tech follows up. Bro, playing it patient as he needs to. Not the best touch off the back wall. Lights needs to be there, and he does. Waves going to chase this one down. But Water still maintain this lead.
Honestly, just if you want a clinic in 2's rotation, watch how Cornballs is addressing these reads. The moment one player challenges, the other player's backing him up. Even right there, they got beat, and he was there. But the problem is he didn't use that boost to recover fast enough. Crow able to hop on top of the loose ball.
I mean, both of these touches now are just, both of these goals are just based off of poor defensive touches at this point. We saw it off the kickoff goal, and we saw it for here. Cornballs, they're just outpacing themselves a bit. They're trying to just play these touches too quick without really thinking them through.
Oh, and I like that play by Lights. He gets beat to the corner of the side boost, but instead he just knocks it back, knowing Crow is going to be able to get there first. Brutal fake in the corner. Waves left by himself. 50. Does he have the angle? I don't think he does. He's just going to knock it middle. As again, just maybe the nerves of these players getting to each other. Still keeping it competitive. That's another deflection, and Crow is going to hop right on it. What is happening?
A complete collapse, if you will. Just again,
Wow.
all of these defensive touches going poorly, and Water just being all over them like water.
Low. Going to take that boost, and yet it looks like Water still able to get away with it. 0 boost, he's just dictating the direction of these plays. I mean, I gotta say, you don't have to panic too much in 2s. I mean, you can get a lot of goals and not a lot of time, but that being said, getting 1 at least would definitely do a lot to boost the spirits in the comms, but it doesn't look like Water is in too much of a charitable mood right now.
No, not at all. Waves. I'm gonna send this one down, but you only have so much time to try and play for these individual plays. I think Water has gotten much more of a read on Low-Tech. They're playing the corner, but look how much time they need to spend just to collect resources and try and get out of their own zone, because you have Water players that are just so focused on making sure they're harassing Cornballs as much as possible.
And Light's also just taking really good tactical guesses on that last one. You can tell he's standing still, and yet he's getting 2 straight 50s to slow down the play. And even with that said, there's still opportunities for Cornballs, but Wave's not able to wrap around it. Lights got dust low just barely. That touch, pass across, excellently done. That's on a platter for Low.
Yeah, Low-Tech, I think he pre-jumped for this one too. Waves saw him right away, instant bang into the net. Perfectly placed.
That's a frozen rope, too. I mean, that was right on top of his bumper. And if it was any further to the left or a little bit higher, I don't think it would have had the speed or trajectory to really even be dangerous or shootable. So a lot to be able to consider there. And now it's all to play for as we're back into the territory of a goal and the kickoff still being optimal. Thing is, you got to at least have some time on the clock. And as you mentioned, just getting resources alone is burning so many seconds.
I know. I mean, you don't really kind of realize like how much time you sort of whittle away, but is this going to happen? Waves says maybe.
Ugh, that hard break into the drift is crazy by Low, but I don't blame Water for diving in. That was an angle that I could shoot or take a dangerous 50 out of. And now everything to play for. Kickoff Kings and Cornballs. Not going to get so lucky on this one. Deflect to the sidewall, and Water knows time is on their side, but all it takes is one mistake or one flick. Crow daintily going to guide that one to the corner. Oh no,
Oh,
the
no,
whiff!
and another whiff! What is this collapse from Water?
Crow had it all to play for, but then on the near post, no boost. Low grabs the corner boost on the steal and understands he just needs one more extension. Oh no, Water. There's no such thing as an in-game timeout. You just have to shake that off and keep on going.
We'll see how they respond. Done historically well in these kickoffs, but you need to be able to do something with the control that you're developing. Crow with a great catch, gets the flick over one, makes it 4-3.
My goodness, this is such a good catch because there's no hesitation, no wasted movement. One touch to be able to kill the ball, one touch to set it up, and then immediately a flick. It's so difficult for Waves to ever predict that one. So despite the adversity, Water still has enough in the tank to get a lead back. And now, Cornballs, what is your response? Pure power, top shelf, bar down, out.
Look at that patience as well from Lights. Could have easily overextended and whiffed that one. Lights, over to Crow. Just knock it away. Lotec doesn't have the space! Water! Get the insurance goal at 21 seconds!
Crow understands Lowe's in the midfield, and also, more importantly, he's rotating inside to outside, which means it's a very long path to 180 and get back. Lob it to the back post, see what happens. Insurance goal in our match point game in the grand finals. Lowe needs to generate something. How about a boost into a bump, but still the deflection comes through. The flick,
done.
Crow delivering the dagger. Water, what a showing. They will dethrone Lowe, and Waves has seen enough.
Waves is gone. I don't think Lotec will stick around either. But a monumental collapse from Cornballs at the very last second to determine this best of three. Lotec's gonna stick around. He's gonna play it out. Says, no, I'm going out on my shield. And we'll make the final touch. But it is Water who will take this bracket and be your champions here.
I gotta say, Lights and Crow, I mean, these are new faces. I do not believe they were playing in the last two Navy MWR events. We had mentioned that that was around the holidays, so maybe players just were not available. They're not at their PCs, traveling, visiting family, whatever. Now they are here, and we got some new contenders. Lowe has finally lost a Navy MWR event. Waves also getting into the grand finals, but not able to deliver. When we look back at this replay, I mean, of course, the best series of the night will be our grand final.
Yeah, that was easily the best play because we got a bit of everything, right? We got a bit of individual mechanics, we got a bit of just good solid team play, a bit of drama, some good comebacks, and then a complete collapse at the end. Everything you could want from a series we got here.
And being able to then just get even the easy goals, quote unquote, but also stuff like this. I mean, in the clutch, excellent pass to keep them in it. And then right afterwards, Lowe delivering stuff on a platter. Like, there was a genuine back and forth, and it just shows you cannot let off the gas at any moment in these games.
Not at all. And with, I mean, the amount of pressure that can be on for these, like we saw, Waves left early. The moment that they saw that it was kind of over, they realized there's so much emotions running high, and you just want to really kind of, I don't know, let your arms relax and be like, all right, yeah, that was done and dusted. But this is our bracket. This was how everything went down. Our two finalists went through a really long journey to make it here, but Water overcoming the best of them to make it our winner here, to be able to make it to the finals and eventually take down our previous champion in Lotec, to be able to take this final.
And being able to get that win, I mean, one thing over Lotec and Waves is one thing, but in the fashion that you did it, because I always am a huge fan of the storyline. That's ultimately what every esport or sport has. You watch as they develop, and seeing them get a solid win, then kind of get smacked around a little bit. It felt like things were teetering a bit, and then still have to hold on barely in game three. I mean, that game three was like a microcosm of the entire other two games. So being able to come in your first event of the year and be able to get a win like that over really the reigning champion, a guy who's kind of been farming these tournaments, that's a lot to say. But of course, they have a chance to run it back tomorrow as well, Seb, because we got some more Rocket League, Navy MWR, and USAA action coming up tomorrow.
Yes, we are going to have more tomorrow, but as for tonight, I think I'm very happy with how things went. I think there is going to be a lot. I mean, listen, if we have the same players that came out tomorrow, that came out tonight, I think Lotec is going to want that run back, Taco.
Absolutely. And he doesn't have to change teammates, but maybe we'll see if there's a roster shakeup. But at least for right now, Seb, that's going to do it for you and I here for this event, because that is going to be the close once the grand final is done. That means the Navy MWR Esports tournament, brought to you by Navy's Morale, Welfare, and Recreation program, is done for tonight. Tune in tomorrow, though, because you are going to be able to support our sponsor, USAA. No Navy endorsement of sponsors implied, but more Navy Esports are on the way. Of course, we have other esports, but we'll be back tomorrow with Rocket League. World Cups are coming up after all that. So sign up for these tournaments at navymwr.org/esports. And be sure to follow Navy FFR on Facebook and Instagram at /Navy FFR and here on Twitch at /Navy MWR. Seb, thanks so much for coming along with me on this wonderful evening of Rocket League.
It was really fun.
And for everybody in the audience, we'll catch you next time. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful night.